CD7, in which the beauty of despair is considered. Have to get away, to the sanctuary of the bush, its solace. Pa once taught me an old Celtic phrase, the thin places, to describe those little pockets of the natural world that feel closer to the mysterious energy that drives all the earth. He said the thin places arrest you with their strange power. And the Ripping Tree Glade, despite all the trauma it's seen, feels like one of them. I want to be stilled by it, healed, and learn more about it. And I need some fresh air because a headache is toying with my temples. Willowbrae now feels like a trap, as if there's an ivory comb here, pulling hard on all my nerves. I want to flush myself clean, far away from this claustrophobic, secret-soaked house. Want to search for Tinkin and Mouse, and want to somehow respair amid everything. It's another old word Pa loved, a fresh recovery after despair. I slip into the repairing air, flit through the island's spikes and snags as fast as I can in Mrs. Craw's heavy skirts. There's no softness to this land. Prickly slivers coat my clothes. Little black sticks of annoyance, a thumbnail's length, hook greedily onto the cloth. The native flowers are tough to pull from the earth, but after much effort, I gather together a shardy bouquet of sharp tips and bleached colour, and hold it to my chest like a bride heading into her quiet little death. Run on. The leaves in their swan pattern are still there, just, but it looks as if someone has kicked at them in spite. The glade still contains its protective energy, and I take a deep breath and still. Settle the bouquet tenderly on the wing. Sit back. Look around. No one here. No one close. Loneliness stretches its claws in me. I'm hugely alone here, and in the world. Who can help me now? If I leave Willowbrae, I'll be penniless, with nowhere to go, and only the clothes on my back. I skim fingertips over the soil, but everything that could tell a story is long gone. Flop to my belly and wing my arms wide, pushing my fingers through the strange earth baked in its sunshine. Will I be swallowed by this soil eventually? Will this country enfold my bones in death? This alien earth? I rest my cheek to the coolness and squeeze my eyes shut on a prickle of tears that will not under any circumstances come out. Home. It's gone. I ram my hands through the soil and once again feel like the wild child of cut-off trousers and brambles and brook, the girl who never quite grew up. I won't inhale the lovely smell of home ever again, or crunch through the resistance of snow, or breathe in Knockleby's wetness after rain when the soil opens out to receive its benediction. The craving for it all feels like a sickness in me now, arrowing me across the earth to my squat little teapot of a house that someone else owns now because of Ambrose's debts, my place of belonging where I was at vivid rest. I'll never see it again, and I don't know how to go on. A twig crack. My face pops up like a lizard's. Hello? Another snap, a rustle. Who's there? My heart beats fast. Tinkin? Hello? But is it? Do I have her name right? I prop my chin on the knuckles of both hands. Tinkin, don't be afraid. The little girl steps from behind the ripping tree. Her blonde-tipped hair hangs loose, and she wears a necklace of black and white shells, just like her mother and sister did, and her little body is as brawny as a boy's, all muscle and sinew, a warrior's. wary and ready. For what? We stare at each other. I flicker a grin. I was hoping you'd come back. Tinkin doesn't smile, as if she can't quite let go yet. Still not sure if she should absolutely trust. My head stays propped, lizard alert. Don't go, I whisper, and I place my fist again on my heart and smile, hesitant. Tinkin comes up close, then closer, all the time edgy for flight. Her alert brown eyes are reading me, searching for some kind of trust, tossing up yes or no. I don't move, but my speaking eyes, my relief that we're doing this. Something terrible has happened to this little girl and also to myself, and there's a connection over that, if nothing else. Tinkin drops to the ground in front of me, her belly in the dirt, just like mine. My smile sun-wide. So, face to face, two lizards at last. Tinkin giggles, and it's like a hat flying off to the sky for us both. Where you from? I exclaim warmly at her English, and she shrugs, and asks again where I'm from. And I explain it's a place called Knockleby, far across the globe, and point a big way away, and the girl mirrors my actions, and we both laugh. What's your name? I ask, and when the girl says, Tinkin, I nod yes. Of course, I knew. How? A frown. Her head cocks. Smart one, this one. Intelligence radiates from her. I explain that the little boy Mouse told me, and I mime his height and his stare, and Tinkin looks at me in wonder, as if she's drinking my intruder's mind up. I ask what happened here. Does she know? Pointing to the violated wing. And the girl looks at me quizzically, as if weighing up what to say, and whether to trust me with the truth or not. I love this place, I say carefully. This little chapel, almost, because it somehow feels like that. Tinkin murmurs something about her mother. The land was her mother, or her mother had been in this land, and I nod, grave, then hold my forehead between a thumb and forefinger and wince. Tinkin reaches out in concern. Are you hurting? She leaps up to the ripping tree and strips off some young leaves from its tips, chews them, then offers the wet wad to me, pointing to my head, then my lips. To help you. Help. I take the saliva-soaked mass and put it in my mouth and chew on the tough tartness and feel suddenly heady and released and laugh. It works. Your mother taught you this? But Tinkin is poised. She's now listening to something else. It's as if a cloud has crossed over the sun and the world in an instant has dulled. She swiftly looks behind her, gasps and runs off. Oh! She's vanished. I've heard nothing. Tinkin! There's a rustle, like a wild beast in return, scurrying off in fright. Then I hear it too, a heavy, irreverent footfall, headed to this place. I am swallowed. Oh, you! Tobin crashes into the glade. He tears off a palm frond, laughing and mock-anointing me and tickling my neck, which I do not want, do not like. And why is he here? Did he follow me?
So here you are, little girl lost.
Yes.
You ran away from me, and girls like you are not meant to run away, Miss Puss.
I don't like Tobin's voice, his new tone, as if there's unfinished business from the study that he needs to tidy up. He's too big and loud and wrong for the energy of this place. I scowl. I don't want his cluttery, hovery insistence right now. Tobin is suddenly the happiness stalker, when all I want is Tinkin back? Why is he here? He has no need of this. What does he want from me, from this place? I back away, cup my hand at my mouth, and spit out Tinkin's wad, then discreetly discard it. Tobin moves closer. What are you doing here? I ask, coldness in my voice. He laughs, tells me he's trying to find his disobedient house guest, the one who slips away at odd moments and wears trousers and talks too much. So why am I here? I take a deep breath, tell him very slowly that I've come to the glade to try and work out what happened, once and for all, and to find some peace in this place. Tobin sighs like I'm a child, and explains that some things aren't meant to be found out. The dead woman, the mother, might have been rejected by her people, had I thought of that. She might have had nowhere to turn to, no land to go back to, and no home that was truly hers. His voice is curdling into petulance and spite.
Good riddance, I say. It might have been too complicated for her any other way.
Good riddance? She was a mother, Tobin, a beautiful young woman with a baby and quite possibly other children. Maybe. And perhaps she was desperately homesick and alone. And all you can say is good riddance? I step back in disgust. He moves forward. This is some game to him. He wants something. Oh, God, he's not letting me go. I need to leave now, I say.
What?
Get away from the lot of you. Leave. Willowbrae. Virgil told me to go and I refused, but you know what? He was right.
Oh, no, we're not having that, he teases, moving closer still.
A chill. This man is tracking me. He's not letting up. He's breathing heavily. There's a smell coming off him, of anticipation, sweat, want. His fingers loosen his neckerchief, as if this is the start of something and he is preparing himself and I'm not going to like it. The shallow flit of my breath. I snatch his palm frond and fling it at him, and he grabs at me, but I twist from his grasp and run, crashing through the bush. Puss, wait! I'm having none of it, sick of him, scared of him, wanting no more of his posturing and his talk, sick of the secrets of this house. I splash through the shallows, not even bothering to lift my skirt, making sure I don't take Mouse's track, because I don't want Tobin anywhere near me. Good riddance indeed, and he'll be sorry for it. But then, I'm alone. Too quick. I'm suddenly swallowed up by too much that looks the same as a minute ago, but isn't or is, and I'm now walking in circles. Or am I? The bush rings with a taunting. The hairs at the back of my neck spring to attention at each new rustle of nothing or everything, and I can't read any of it. Tobin's cries of, "Pussy! Wait, you silly!" grow fainter, and I refuse to call out, don't want his triumphant mock as he rescues me. "What did I tell you, Puss? I know best, don't I?" Repeat, Tobin the best knows best. No, I do not like his new way of talking. It's dipping into ugliness. I think back to the mess of my sheets and the snatched kiss in the study, the uninvited tongue pushing into my mouth, and the smell of want. I don't like any of this, and am afraid, and alone. A twig cracks, close. I stop. Walk faster, further away into the bush, and further, moving as far as I can from Tobin's voice. Spin. Nothing is familiar now, and I can't see far enough ahead through the spindly, scrappy trunks that in volume appear oddly dense. The sun is directly overhead, so I don't know what direction is west. What direction is anything? I walk on and on. Heat is a wall that now holds me trapped in slowness. I've lost sight of water and the direction of the big house. A bird screeches too close. My nerves are on edge, and the blood pumps too loud in my neck. Boom, 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 and it feels like a strange presence is following, watching, most willfully not helping and not declaring itself. Footsteps. Branches cracking. A crackle of movement. Someone is taunting or tracking me, or worse. The whole world of Willowbrae is no longer about sanctuary, but survival, yes. And I grab a fallen branch. Who's there? I hold it aloft. Hello. It's my deepest voice. But there's only silence back. Of course. Declare yourself. Silence. Goading or teasing or something else entirely, and I will not show fear. I'll not. I walk on, then stop at an overhanging rock and try to sharpen the branch on the stone. I glance up to a native panorama of fish and stingrays stretching the length of the cave's roof. Heat presses its thumbs into me. A slick of hair is a sliver in my eye. A slip of sweat rolls down my chest. A giant lizard cocks its head, then shoots up a trunk. All front leg propulsion and slippery strength, and I will not be afraid of it. In my exhaustion, I'm now stumbling, running, stopping, but it's just more endless trees and more as the sun arrows cruelly down. Everything looks different but the same. And I think I see Tobin. Tall, languid, mocking, leaning on a trunk, and wipes sweat from my eyes. Oh! No, a wall of trees. Another. He's here. He's close. Tobin's love? Is he teasing? Or worse? Is he waiting for my exhaustion before pouncing? Ragged breathing. Rocks that were there a few minutes ago are now back. And back. How? No water close, no bay, no house. The sun beats down. Wolf Girl is gone. Defeated. I'm beyond tired now, and ragingly thirsty, and spent. Is he gone? Am I alone? Is that worse? Slowly, I peel some bark from a ripping tree that's like a creamy doll's blanket and sit down on it, too tired. Too tired to fight anymore. Another twig cracks. A rustle of a scurry. It feels human. Again, too tired to sit up, to investigate. I ball myself onto my side and shut my eyes to see Jack's sweet face and the piece of deck that saved me. And the water. So much water. And then jerk awake. Boots. Legs. Tobin looking at me close. I shrink from him, terrified, pressing my knuckles hard into my cheeks. Willowbrae is not quite ready to let you go just yet, my little puss. And he smiles at me. What does he want? But then something unseen catches Tobin's attention, and he turns, spooked, and sprints off, just like that, like he shouldn't be here, like he's afraid of the consequences. He's been caught. Oh, what just happened? Did I dream all that? I rub my face and stumble into a sit. Have to get back. I've missed lunch. It's late. The day is fading. What direction? Where to begin? A flit of a shadow, tall ahead. A smaller one, child height. I follow, trusting, can never quite catch up. Is this real? Am I awake? I trail after the ghostly weaving through trees until I see water and make out Mouse's goat path, and with a pluming relief am on my way back to dubious civilization, to torment and resolve. I need to get out of here, to rescue myself from Willowbrae and its secrets and its ugliness. No one will do it for me, so I'll have to light my own lantern in the dark. But how? Instruction. Back at the house, everyone too everywhere. Was Tobin really going to harm me? Or was it just his odd sense of play? I look around at the contained world of Willowbrae, its beautifully swept floors and firm sheets and waiting Bibles, with everything so calm and ordered and in its place. Am I being too sensitive here? Making mountains out of molehills? Mrs. Craw meets me in the corridor and senses my agitation. She suggests I take a moment in the library, all by myself. It'll do you good. I sit, shivering in the quiet space. But oh, I hear whispering in the corridor, and Mrs. Craw comes in and shuts the door firmly behind her. Not quite done with me yet. She sits herself in silence on the chaise longue, across from me. She's allowed to, of course. She shuts her eyes with her palms crossed over her chest, as if rehearsing for death, or gathering herself. Then opens her eyes and looks at me. I sit up straight and try to smile, my legs still shaking under my skirt. She suddenly springs up, climbs a ladder, plucks some books off a top shelf, and settles them next to me, patting them fondly like pets. You never had a mammy, did you? Her finger taps a manual, just like the ones Mariana used to have. I shake my head tightly. No. I think I'm allergic to these kinds of books.
Oh? And may I ask why?
Because they're always explaining to me how I'm wrong. Very, very wrong. Mrs. Craw smiles serenely and reads a title aloud.
Private Lectures on Perfect Women.
Then there's
The Woman Beautiful. Well, I don't need any help in that department.
She laughs at her little joke. I do not.
You, on the other hand.
We exchange glances. I can't read her. Is she smiling at me? With me?
How about Female Beauty as improved by regimen, cleanliness, and dress?
Mrs. Craw hands me the book with a little thrust of fierceness through her smile. It reminds me of her tightness when she saw Tobin's glance to me before church. She's all clench. Is there a problem, ma'am? I'm not so good with things like this. I place the volume on the seat beside me. Tell her my mother died when I was a baby, and Pa had made it up from that point, but never with these kinds of books. Mrs. Craw looks as if she is about to ask me something, then frowns at the tome discarded, and taps me on the shoulder, a touch too hard.
Well, I might be able to help you then.
She commands me to sit up straight. Posture, posture, and moves behind me and runs her fingers through my hair, massaging it in little tugs. Relax, which I can't quite, of course.
I might be able to help you, Poss, because you really don't know how to give yourself a haircut, do you?
I say nothing. So that is what this is about. Mrs. Craw says nothing either, as she works me into a stupor with the lull of her fingers. Maybe I'm getting off lightly here, so I'm not going to push it. I close my eyes and surrender to the maternal fingers fluid over my scalp. She leans in and whispers that we need to have a little chat at some point, of the womanly kind. She speaks as if the very walls and the books are listening in, and she doesn't want them to hear. What do you mean, ma'am? Mrs. Craw's fingers dig into my scalp, ever so slightly, and stay there. Have your friends arrived yet? Do you need any help? My what? Friends. The Curse of Eve. Your monthlies. Oh, yes, goodness, it's fine, Mrs. Craw, fine. But not here. I mean, they haven't come here, and I might be gone by the time they do. What a thing to be talking about. I nudge away and cross my arms. She asks if my friends began at a young age, and I hurry out a no. I'm relieved. A girl who develops too soon apparently has a feeble middle life. Oh, yes. I glance at the stack of manuals now by my side. Pa recruited a farmhouse neighbour to tell me about women's matters, which she did, with apologies that she was too old for all that now. She only knew of cows and the like. Is your blood of bright colour, Poss? I'm mortified. Goodness! What? Yes, no, I don't know. All colours, if you must know, I think. Mrs. Craw tells me that an author she likes very much, the good Dr. Chavasse, recommends that all Mensa's blood be as bright as a cut finger. Many fevers come from anything different, Poss. Shakes, night horrors, sleeping at odd hours, frights. What are you... Nothing, just asking. I'm fine, ma'am. Please. Mrs. Craw pinches my hair in little tufts, not quite affectionately. How to tame you, Poss? This wilful, impetuous, blundering little head of yours that blurts out too much in public. A pause. As well as private. A sigh. No one's ever taught you how to converse in a genteel way, have they? You're very difficult to control. Her hands wrap around my hair and tighten. It hurts. For instance, this impossible hair. Faith had beautiful hair. It was so easy to manage. I cut my hair to make your youngest child feel a bit better. It was impetuous and stupid, I know. I'm sorry. I need Mrs. Craw to loosen her grip. My hands cover hers, but no relief is forthcoming. It's as if she's disappeared into the caves of her complex head. You must never speak of what you see in this place. Mrs. Craw's voice hardens. In public. Among others. Her grip tightens and tightens. I stifle a cry of pain. You're our guest here, Poss, and we do things our way at Willowbrae, and it works our way. Understood? The last word is hissed. Her index fingers dig into my scalp, and there's suddenly something utterly unmaternal about them. I cry out in pain. Her fingers release me. Maybe I should think about leaving soon, ma'am. No. Oh, no. Her voice switches in an instant to the woman who just wanted a daughter to doll up. She bustles about the room, straightening book spines already straight, and swiping invisible dust, while telling me I could use nothing for my monthly unwellness if I want, but there's also sheep's wool at Willowbrae, fluffy side up, or a clout. A what, ma'am? A cloth triangle, secured by a belt, and I've got a rag bag of bits and bobs if you ever want to delve into that. Or raw cotton, which you can fashion into a wad and, insert. Mrs. Craw trails out. I say nothing. Or
the baby's swaddling cloth.
She moves away. A quietness blooms between us. A silence of too much. Ma'am? I inquire softly, but get nothing back.
I still have them, just in case. I'm not old yet.
Despite everything that's ruptured between us, I stretch out my hand to her. She seems so brittle, unbreakable all of a sudden.
Just leave my boy alone,
she whispers fierce, batting my hand away.
For his sake, for ours. You have to be teachable, Puss. Do as we say, because this house, this life demands it. Do as we say.
I step back, nod.
I want you to stay with me, but we just...
Mrs. Craw balls her fist at her mouth. She hurriedly leaves the room, her hand at her lips, as if she knows something I don't and she's going to be sick. I look at her, bewildered. What is she trying to tell me? So, I'm now stranded in this room with the books that insist on telling me what I must be like, and I have no heart for any of it. I hold my palm to the memory of Mrs. Craw's touch, the caress like a trickle of cool water cutting through my thirstiness, until it turned into something else. Yet the touch was so lovely until that moment. The physicality of it, the connecting. Her cruel art is to offer a little affection and then remove it, to plunge the recipient into a cold, cold place, and to maintain power at all costs. Dark talk. Night feels as open as a book. I withdraw from the bustle of the house, needing my own nest of quiet. I wonder where Virgil is, what he's doing. He's taken tea somewhere else, and no one queries it.
That's our Virgil.
Mrs. Craw shrugs at the brittle dinner table, where no one talks much.
We never ask.
Tobin winks at me, back to a semblance of his playful self. But a swirl. Later, in the thick of the night, there's a tapping on my window, like a close branch in a frisky wind. I wake with a start from a shredded sleep. Wish I had my knife that everyone still denies knowing anything about. When I go to the window, nothing's there, of course. No tree. Am I mad? Is my head still storm-wracked? There's never been a branch close. Is it Tinkin? I open the French doors. Hello? No answer. Just wind talk. No stick close. So, someone wants to spook me from this house, or send me mad with it. Who would want me gone the most? Tinkin with her silent feet? Or my native rescuer, who whispers through all my nights? Or the many ghosts of Willowbrae, who've been pushed from their land yet haunt it still? Is the knocking someone tormented and angry and indignant, and white? Or a black man? I stride outside, searching for my rescuer under a bright coin of a moon, and wondering what exactly he had to do with this house. Was he attached somehow to Warai and Poyeur? He's here. I can feel it in the hairs standing to attention on my skin. Yet no one makes their presence felt. A mourning sound is wrapped far away within the wings of the wind. It's a human cry, yet not, rising in pitch, then dropping to nothing, and again rising. But I don't know if it's real or a night trick. I make sure I don't stray from any goat path. Chili, parsley, and sage don't bark, of course. A night trick, perhaps, or someone has silenced them, or slipped beyond their knowing. I'm so confused. Everything is poised, everything uncertain. I walk beyond the lawn and into the trees, stare into the silvered bush, and turn, breathing quick, and turn, a whisper of something in the alive quiet. I am very still. Is it Tinkin? It's her, surely. But she's not coming forward. Hello? Softly I call into the night air. Tinkin? A waiting silence. What your name? A challenging rush of a child's voice. Tinkin, is that you? Yes. What your name? I feel no need for withholding with her, no need for secrecy or lies. We must start clean with this. Tom, I tell her, strong. Tinkin repeats. Dom. It's short for I'm just about to declare my proper name, the hated Thomasina, when she sees something behind me and runs off. No! I flit a turn. Flea is approaching. Oh! I exclaim. He has a look on his face that wants to haul me immediately home. What's he heard or seen? He wasn't that close. I babble a panicky hello and blurt that I love the bush and can't keep out of it, that it's a lovely night, that the forest here is all so spiky and strange, unlike home. You frightened me, Flea, sneaking up like that. You could have knocked. The man asks why I'm out here in the middle of the night, like he knows something. About how I got to Willowbrae, perhaps, or who I'm searching for. I bat him off. Yet he's heard something suddenly, far away in the wind, and he holds his face to it and listens.
We need to get back to the house.
I love being in the bush.
Let's go.
No arguing. As we head back to Willowbrae, I ask about the native people of the area. Flea says nothing, just swigs from a small silver bottle that he takes from a trouser pocket. I ask for a go too, to calm me down, but Flea smiles and holds his bottle high.
Not on your life, lass.
What happened to them?
Persistent, aren't you? And I hate a talker. Better to watch, take note.
It's just so I can understand, Flea. He sighs. Another swig. Tells me slowly that when Mr. Craw moved into this area, there was cooperation among everyone. A civilized sense of kindness, if you like. Curiosity on both parts. The natives helped the new settler, showed him medicine and pathways through the bush, and where the water was, and how tea could be made from the paperbark trees. Those trees with them layers to them. Oh yes, the ripping trees. I love them.
Ripping trees? You make me laugh. Endless entertainment from my perspective.
Really? Come on then, just a little swig. Pa used to let me.
No, you got to keep your wits about your ear, lass.
Why? Flea doesn't say. He just draws strong on his bottle. Tells me that when the rest of Mr. Craw's family came, after the big house was finally built, there was a change. The boss got protective, possibly because his wife demanded it. He closed in, hardened, decided something had to be done about the natives.
They were vermin, pests.
What horrible words!
It's the way of this island. You better get used to it.
Willowbrae, in all its moonlit beauty, floats serenely ahead of us. Flea sighs.
Enough for one night. It's the story of every settler in this land. Come on, let's get you to bed.
And despite all my questions, Flea snaps that the natives were driven from their land a long time ago, and it's late, and there shouldn't be any left. Shouldn't? Flea shakes his head. He says this land is infected with a great sadness, like he can feel it through his feet, and it has contaminated everyone in this place.
In fact, the missus reckons Willowbrae has been haunted ever since.
It wouldn't surprise me, you know. I've heard strange thumps and knocks, odd birds, dead rats, all manner of things, Flea.
Curious things happen here, lass. Horses are let loose, things go missing, chooks disappear, dogs don't bark when they should. Rain falls from a cloudless sky. A white kangaroo watches from the bush, and there are wailing noises on the wind at night, which is why I'm rounding you up now. It's like nature is somehow in cahoots with everything that goes on around here. A child dies on a family picnic. A snake bites a dog on the mouth. And Mrs. Craw lives in terror of it all. Her nerves are shot.
What happened, Flea?
To the missus?
The natives.
You're a child,
Flea says.
and these things are for adults.
He's had enough of the talk and propels me, determined, to the house.
I see everything here, lass, but say nothing. It's not my place to, and you should learn from that. It's our job to be grateful, just that. Give the Craws no cause for concern.
Grateful?
You're alive. You got a roof over your head.
I ask again about the natives in the glade, and Flea says to forget it. Really, it wasn't anybody's business, and probably happened just as the family said.
A lightning strike, a snake bite, some kind of ceremony, who knows?
Are they gone for good around here? My eyes search the bush.
Who knows?
A prickle insists its way up my spine. Is that a shadow, child height, behind a ripping tree? Is Tinkin close? I call out hello, and Flea barks that it's no one, a night trick, and pulls me firmly to the house like I'm a freshly caught child escaped from a workhouse. He says it's dangerous at night in the bush, and yet again the hairs stand to attention on my arms. Someone is watching. I can feel it. A soft crack as we leave the shelter of the trees, as if the hidden person is wanting to follow, but not. As if they're thinking about it, but can't make the leap. My hand trails behind me, waving softly in a way Flea can't see. Then it opens out flat, as if in readiness for a holding. A crack of a twig, and something scurries off.
Possums.
Flea chuckles.
Pests.
I'm marched to the parlour with an insistent grip. Mrs. Craw is darning under a dim light, frowning and squinting too close to her cloth. A handkerchief spotted with blood is over her fingertip. Flea tells her about finding me outside in my nightgown, deep in the bush.
It's madness, ma'am.
He says with his hand locked on my upper arm so I can't escape. I'm open-mouthed at the ease of the turning. So quick. The two adults speak with a familiar shorthand, as if I'm not there. I cock my head. So, they're used to working close. Flea has a frightening physicality packed into him, yet Mrs. Craw seems to look beyond it. She seems fused to her manservant with an iron trust. Flea instructs her to lock me inside for my own sake and keep the key close to her chest, just as I feel the wailing on the wind increase in intensity.
What's she been doing out there, Flea? Wandering about. She needs to obey the rules of this house, ma'am.
Indeed. Mrs. Craw looks pointedly at me.
Oh, I've been telling her, we don't know what's out there, do we? Good man.
She leads me off to my room. I follow her offended back as she moans she has a headache coming on, and it's just been made worse. A worm is turning. What have I done? What are they afraid of outside that I'll find out about? Or be lost among?
Cover yourself.
Mrs. Craw commands as she opens the bedroom door and thrusts me inside. I look down at my ill-fitting nightgown and gasp at the scandal of it, and in front of a convict no less. Oh! The gown's owner is wider and shorter than me, and my calves and collarbone are exposed, and I've been wandering loose and almost unclothed in the bush, which means unhinged quite possibly. Yet here I am, wild-haired and barefooted and almost naked in the dark, an insult to all the people of this fine estate. And Flea hadn't mentioned it.
I said cover yourself, Puss.
Mrs. Craw repeats in disgust.
Your wantonness.
She closes the door, and I hear a key turn in the lock. Quite someone else. In which a gift appears. A tapping on the glass of the French doors just as I'm falling into sleep. It's softer this time. Different. I sweep the sheets aside and run to the door, eager to see who it might be. Mrs. Craw forgot to lock these doors, as if she couldn't comprehend why someone would want to go outside. But there's no one there, of course. I glance down. On the sandstone is a tiny gift of an object. Carefully I pick it up. It's a nest, as intricate as a human vessel, made with much care and thought. It's shaped from clay and twigs, and the fluff of feathers has been threaded through it like tiny pillows of maternal love. I've seen it before. It's the same one, I'm sure, as the one on the ground from that first visit to the ripping tree. I hide it quickly in the bottom drawer of the bureau so Mrs. Craw doesn't see it and ask about it. Or Mouse. My little sister girl has been here, and I smile in great chuff. Tinkin has given me a gift. The only possession in the world I now own. I open the drawer again, just to gaze at it in wonder, and then softly shut the nest away, and look out to the moon-flooded bush, my heart soaring. Tinkin is nearby, and the dogs haven't barked. She's elusively close and canny with it. I want to reach out to her, talk to her, understand something of her strange other world and her grief. And I feel sure that shy child doesn't want me here and is trying somehow to signal it. She wants me away from the big house and is afraid for me. Perhaps, yes. Or am I going mad with this? My head still hurts. I press the heel of my palm into my temple. Willowbrae is no longer a sanctuary, and there's a room of horrors at its core. Who have these people become? I need to find my way out of this. The bones, the restless bones, they won't let up. Beyond the shipwreck, beyond the wailing on the ocean, I'm thinking of the bones in Mr. Craw's study. There's so many skulls. The children, warriors, elders, mothers. I try to fall into sleep, but feel too close to all the lonely bones. So near, at the end of the corridor, all the unresting bones in this immaculate house that is mighty Britain, yet not. Beautiful, immaculate Willowbrae. Such a serene little piece of the mother country. And so adrift. Get out, get out. But how? The 5th day. In which teachability is considered. A knock on my door and the key turns, on a day that already feels like it's firmed into brightness. I stir in the stewy sheets, have slept late after a scrappy night in which a branch knocked again and again against the glass. but I was so desperate for sleep, I couldn't rise to it. "Take me," I murmured eventually in exhaustion. "I can't do this anymore." Then I coiled like an ammonite before falling into restless oblivion. But now I have a visitor. There's only one person in the world I now trust, and I spring up in relief. Oh, for it to be him, please God, my soul rescuer. Is it the vicar?
Yes, and I shall accompany you the entire time.
Mrs. Craw strides into the room with her fifth best dress that's been adjusted crudely, and she combs my hair with vigorous strokes, fussing curls flat with the heels of her palms that become increasingly agitated throughout.
"You're not the child I ordered, are you? Nothing can be contained, can it? Which is becoming a problem."
I don't know what...
"Oh, be quiet."
But my unruly hair refuses to obey. Harder Mrs. Craw smooths, and harder, dragging the brush through my knots. I will not cry out. Will not give her that. I stare at the painting of the little girl in all her finery. It's like she's now taunting me over what I will become. Mrs. Craw swiftly applies a heavy wax to dampen my tamed hair down. Her cuffs are slightly dirty, and there's the faint smell of sweat on her, and her hair is springing loose. She seems frayed, unravelling. It feels as if something's coming to a head here, and it's my fate to be the butt of it, and there's no way out.
"We will get this right, girl."
Once again, I'm transformed under her fussy fingers. She straightens my skirt and strokes back my hair, and again strokes back my hair. She stands aside and surveys the new doll coming to life before her, all the while ignoring my squirm and scratch at the silk. I'm jittery, nervy, an arrow poised in its bow. When the fussing hands finally release me, I draw in a deep, slow breath, held in by the stiff decorum of my dress, and try to stop all my fidgeting, and walk slowly out to the room where my visitor awaits. Mrs. Craw's blunt hiss follows me.
"Remember, Puss, teachable. It'll be worth your while to try it."
A dilemma of choice. "It's you, back."
"I am, Puss. Yes, indeed, back."
I ponder this man in twitchy silence. This vicar, who's like a long, cool drink on a solid day of heat, who's standing by a Bible on a high, sloping display table. He has mud spatters across his clothes and little twigs in his hair, as if he's travelled fast across country to get here, and the wild is growing over him, and he doesn't care. He wants it. He looms into a greeting and pulls back, blushing, which makes me redden too in companionship. So, 2 prisons await. The prison of Willowbrae, with a woman who wants a daughter I can never be, and a firstborn son whose attention has curdled, and the prison of a marriage, which would require me to be submissive and obedient, and somehow smaller, despite this man's promise. And while the big house offers me an occupation and a roof over my head, an escape into a new life, is the price too high to pay? Choice. The vicar tells me, stumbling, that he wants to keep an eye on me. He hasn't been able to keep me from his head. And I jump in over his shy, stumbly words in rescue. "I'm glad I've been too much in your head, vicar," I say, and laugh, "because you've been in mine too." Without thinking, I roll up my sleeves that were so carefully straightened only moments before, and Mrs. Craw right behind me tuts. I roll the cloth back down again, wincing. The vicar notices, frowns slightly. Mrs. Craw falls into silence. The vicar begins to say something but stops as if not trusting himself. and turns to Mrs. Craw in confusion.
You've been having some trouble with the natives, ma'am, so I hear, yes? Oh, natives? That passed in the bush. I heard of the talk in the churchyard. No trouble, Vicar. It was quite some distance away. But yes, they're back.
Mrs. Craw's face has slid into tiredness, as if it can no longer perk itself into anything else.
Natural deaths, Vicar. Poss doesn't see things quite as we do, yet.
She gives a small smile of complicity.
She has much to learn.
The vicar looks at me and asks, halting, if we can possibly continue the conversation in private, perhaps, only if I want to. And I go to jump in with a yes, but Mrs. Craw snaps a no.
Our guest is delicate still. Her head, Vicar, the blow. And things don't seem to be improving. I need to watch over her at all times.
I bite my lip, look down. Mustn't make a scene. I'm chafing at the bit in my silk-stiffened stillness. I crave in this moment some replenishing talk with this man I know will roam through religion and nature and the sky and the people of this island and the beautiful, rescuing sanctity of love, perhaps, as a haven, a harbour to rest from the toss of the world. For this vicar is not what I'd thought. Mrs. Craw trills a hard laugh.
Our confused little mermaid says things are happening here, Vicar, or so I've heard. She thinks that our place might be haunted. Poltergeists. I mean, really. Her head's agitated with all manner of things.
A tightness like a stone is now resting on my chest. You're making it sound as if I'm mad, ma'am.
You suffered a blow. You're not well.
I still at the abrupt hardness in her tone. A new Mrs. Craw entirely is turning a coldness into distance and is happy now to publicly display it. As if she doesn't want me upending her careful world in any way. As if I've somehow transformed from a help into a hindrance. I'm fine, ma'am. Really, my head is fixed. The older woman raises her eyebrows and tugs at her cuffs. I thank the vicar for coming so far and checking on me, and he nods and asks if I am enjoying Willowbrae, and I gabble on about the beauty of this land, and he says a lot of people don't see it, actually. They say it isn't proper colours and that it's ugly. The trees are spindly and scrappy. He says that Joseph Banks himself described it as resembling the back of a lean cow, with shrubby long hair, and its rocks as scraggy hips. No, I don't see it as that at all.
There can be a great beauty to it, Poss, yes.
If you just open your eyes to it. I glance at Mrs. Craw, whose lips are rolled in like she doesn't quite trust what might be blurted out next. The vicar looks at me, as if what he wants to say next is difficult.
I think we could have been friends under different circumstances, Poss.
A pause.
Yes, fine ones, in fact.
His voice falters. I just want to go home, I stumble out, brimmed, to where I feel safe, held by...
You're safe here, child,
Mrs. Craw admonishes. The vicar nods. He understands me. He talks of his home too, of his shepherd family and the wild slopes in Cumbria that they tend. He talks of heft, as it's known with sheep, a homing instinct that continually brings them back to their place of belonging.
Just like us, to belonging. We all need it.
But he says that belonging for him means here now. And perhaps I just need to learn this world, to let it seep into my heart. And it could. My home will always be where I grew up, Vicar.
And that is?
He gently asks. We stop. A crowded silence. So, to a gap in the conversation, to leap in with... what? Nothing and everything. And Mrs. Craw is watching close. The vicar stumbles on, asking who I am, really. Can I remember my name now?
No, Mrs. Craw snaps. Apologies, but we'll let that lie. For now, I need to work on her some more. She's not fixed.
The woman looks at her watch. I bite my lip. The vicar tells us in a rush that it feels to him as if I'm on the cusp of something now, poised, passing from one life into another, and it's exciting and terrifying and wondrous all at once in terms of what I might do next.
Yes?
My heart is galloping in my chest because I want to declare everything before him suddenly, the whole burdened lot. Yet my name is a secret in my heart locked. And Mrs. Craw is close. Do I blurt out that I might want to go into town right now? That I'm becoming afraid here? That at night I find it hard to fall into sleep because of the horrors in my head and a room of bones in this house and a son who taunts me, whom I no longer quite trust? I start to articulate my unease, but hear Mouse playing on the lawn with the dogs and stop myself. Can't leave him alone here. He needs me. And Tinkin is out there somewhere, and it's all too complicated. It feels too easy and cowardly to just abandon them both. So, no, I must stay, warily and restlessly, and somehow bravely, for now. Because God spared me, and I have an obligation to make the most of this new life, in courage and gratitude and generosity and grace, somehow. So, choice. And I need to hide from my future a little longer. I'm sorry, Vicar. Is this right? Is it? The vicar is concerned. Do I need any help? Mrs. Craw says crisply that I have everything I need. Do I? Grieving can be a great blow to the mind, the vicar says. It can turn you into someone else, someone dangerous to others, and to yourself. I want to yield in that moment, to collapse into him with the great weight of the past days, the bash of it all. He reaches out to hold me, but not. Me to lean into him, but not. We both know what's required next, and everything is on alert, as both our futures could go this way or that. Yet we say nothing. Choice. Pos is still recovering. Mrs. Craw crashes in. It's been a difficult time for her. She needs her rest. Yes, the vicar says. He must be off, shortly, to his home in the bush, his humble home. I scratch at the silk of my dress.
Do you enjoy it out there, Vicar?
Our hostess asks. He tells us it feels close to the earth, and that's a good thing. For him, in the bush, among the great towering trees. It feels like his cathedral. Yes. The vicar looks straight at me, and I gaze back at this man, so awkward and grave and clumsy, and right. How on earth did we come to this? Everything is alive, ready, lit. The vicar says he will return. Now is my chance to speak out, to disrupt. But I think of Mouse and Tinkin again, and I am stopped up. Can't. The vicar smiles, right into me. It hurts. Can I call on you, if ever I need it, Vicar?
It goes without saying. I care for you, Pos.
Thank you. A speaking pause with everything and nothing in it. Likewise. Why does he bring me to this tear prick? I tip my face back in a rescuing blink. Mrs. Craw rushes the vicar to the door, telling him that yes, their little mermaid needs another few days of rest, and he needn't visit again for a good while. It's not required. The child needs her health restored and quiet.
Her nerves.
What? I ask.
Visits are proving disruptive,
she says, and glares at me, willing me into silence. They are not.
Your head, Puss, the blow. I need to call in Mr. Craw. Right now, quick. Good day, Vicar. Take care, Puss. Unless you want me to stay.
Callum, Mrs. Craw calls out.
Do you need me, Puss? Tell me if you do.
I go to say that perhaps I do, actually, yes. But Mrs. Craw talks over me.
Of course she doesn't, Vicar. Thank you. My husband is on his way now to see you out.
And in that wild moment, I think of blurting out everything, of seizing the vicar's rescue. But what kind of rescue would it be? A compromised one, with possibly a name slipped out as its spoils. And Tinkin is still out there, and Mouse is distraught, and a room of bones still exists, and will be further filled up. And if I declare everything right now in front of Mrs. Craw, I might be packed off to the Women's Asylum of Industry. And that will be that. I'll be vanished, encased forever in a wall of stone. I haven't forgotten her husband's volcanic temper, or her son's surprising spite. And Mr. Craw and Tobin are on their way. I can hear their footfalls. I'll be fine, Vicar, by myself. For now, just don't forget me.
How could I?
I'll manage here. I'm tough. But I don't feel it right now. Have I just let go of my one good shot at escape? Is saying nothing a cowardice or a strength? I'm all adrift, yet I must stay on the fighter's path, must continue to stride along it, even if I suspect I can't. Thunder rumbles in the distance. The sky is clearing its throat. The air feels loaded as the vicar walks into it without looking back. I call out to him, needing his face once more. I ask his name since he knows mine. He turns, hesitates.
Jemuel, or simply Jim, but Jemuel, yes.
He speaks with faltering eyes, an unbearable intimacy, as if I've almost unclothed him. And I roll the name Jemuel in my mouth, and again say it firmer, and pronounce it a good name, and that I could grow used to it.
As I could yours.
He leaves quick, without another word, the air unsettled between us. Scraps. After the vicar leaves, Mrs. Craw releases me. I dive into the alive air to find Mouse, but he's nowhere in sight. Stride across the lawn, tetchy and nervy like a colt new to its bridle. My boy's vanished. I catch Flea fattening a scrap heap near the kitchen with vegetable bits and old bottles. Can I help? Silence. Flea? Silence. Please? I'm told no, finally, that it's too messy a task for a lass like myself. Dark blue bottles of mysterious opacity are nudged under the pile. His actions are furtive. He's trying to hide them from me. I've come at the wrong moment. What are you doing? Flea sighs and explains that it's all to be burnt off when the days get cooler. But why did you put those bottles in there?
So the dogs don't get to 'em.
Flea's voice is reluctant, like an old log at a fire's end. It's crackling and cindered and not wanting this. What's in the bottles?
Don't you worry about that, lass. Kitchen's got many things not meant for children.
I'm not a child.
More child than adult. And why would you be hurrying yourself into anything grown up? It's all downhill from there.
I can't wait to be grown up.
In this land, God help you, child.
I'm ready for whatever is ahead, Mr. Flea. Don't worry, I can take it. Flea laughs and tells me he'll be enjoying the ride from a distance. Where's the mouse of the house?
Now, he's the boss of the house, Miss Poss, but I've no idea where he is. And at least he's got a proper one now.
A proper what?
Friend.
Aren't you his friend?
Likes of me isn't allowed the joy of that.
So you won't be staying here afterwards? When you're free?
I'll be straight off, as quick as I can get.
Flea says no more on the subject, just urges me to get back inside. Insists I follow him to the kitchen. He has some calves' feet stewing, and he's making jellies for dessert, and he could do with some help, of the tasting variety. I stand my ground, sensing that his reluctance to answer me means there's some mystery to his actions at the scrap heap. But the bottles, Flea? Firm.
It's nothing to bother your pretty little head about.
A flare of frustration. I stalk off to the bush. Flea strides alongside me and rounds me off.
It's dangerous out here, a young girl like you. Come on, inside. My jellies need a taster, and you're it.
I shake him off. This man will give me nothing of use. He's too closed and blunt and practised, and after last night there's not much trust. Flea holds my arm and is vicious with it.
I'm trying to protect you, but you won't have it, will you? This is no place to be alone.
I can no longer disobey. There are jellies to taste. I look back in yearning at the waiting bush. Something cracks, soft, close. I trail out my hand to it. A bird screeches into the baked blue as if in alarm as I'm swept inside to the kitchen. As soon as I decently can, I run out. To find mouse and anything else that might be waiting for me. This is the end of CD 7. The book continues on CD 8. CD 8. A tale of long ago. Virgil is with the dogs. He's rolling his face through Sage's fur and holding her ears like handles as the dog licks him in slobbery wallops. Buckingham Palace, I murmur. Clever name, isn't it? The man stills as if invisible hackles are rising at the sound of my voice. Everything about him is closed off. Thunder murmurs far away, a faint rumble of it. It's ingenious, Virgil, coming from Tobin, who doesn't always strike me as clever.
My brother will tell you anything that he wants. I named this.
I pause, softened. I'm sorry, Virgil, I didn't know. Virgil will not show his face nor turn to me. I hesitate. Now is the time to leap in with everything I know, and I'm never stuck for words. Yet I don't understand this stranger at all. Want to say something but can't. I take a deep breath because I need to know this. Virgil, was that baby yours? The man is stopped. Every pore of his being absorbing this question. He grips his dog as if she's the last thing he has to hold on to in this place. Sage quietens. The sky murmurs far away, sullen.
What?
The baby, the poor dead one. Are you the father? Virgil twists Sage's ear and the dog yelps. I'm so sorry, Virgil, if she was yours.
Why on earth would you think that?
I look away, towards the big house, floating so serenely on its lawn. A relationship between Virgil and a native would be almost unthinkable within such a family. Unthinkable for a son of the upstanding and deeply religious Mr. Craw. Unthinkable for the son of Mrs. Craw, with her ebony cross and stiff, displeased back at anything seemed too deeply into this earth. I move right up close to Virgil, whisper close. I saw the drawing. In your room. He looks up sharp. I'm sorry, but I looked. I just needed to find out what's going on. The man holds his hand to his mouth, as if quelling sickness. He turns away, shuts me off. The wind is flurrying up. Virgil now holds his forehead to his dog and grips her ears firm. She whines, but his holding doesn't let up. He's slipped into a world of his own. The dawning. Did he do something to Warai and Poyer? I look wildly around in the restless air. No one else is in sight. Anything could happen alone with this man. He's holding something in, furiously. And we're so far away from neighbours and authorities and help of any kind in this extravagantly isolated place. I think of Mr. Craw's mulish violence and Tobin's change from flirt to aggressor, the impulsive anger that could also, possibly, be in the clotted sun. Yet I don't cry out. I just take a deep breath. I carry on, trusting, feeling my way, with the tenderness of Virgil's drawing in my head. It doesn't seem fair, Virgil. Or right, what goes on here? And I don't even know why I'm saying this, I just feel it. In my chest, it hurts to think about it. What might have happened? To them. Virgil stands. His fists are clenched, as if willing himself not to say or do something that I will not like and he might regret. You know nothing about anything. Stay away from us. All of us, please. Dust from the wind smacks us in the face. I lean closer, whisper. You knew her. I can tell from her look in the drawing. I blush, for I'm not meant to know of such things, let alone voice them. I'm not meant to be able to interpret that boldness. Yet it is an intimacy I wanted to stroke. You're a beautiful artist, I add, connecting and soft, tender. I knew you were trouble, girl, from that first morning you landed among us. I knew it would end badly, for all of us. I tell Virgil, my voice raw, that I have seen his father's study, and I know what happens at this estate, and before he can respond, I ask again if the baby is his, and in his cracking, shaking silence, I want to hold him and cry with him. Because it's like we're two unanchored and vulnerable souls here, alone and reeling and lost, and strangely twinned, as if we're both trapped in a place we shouldn't be. What if she was mine, Poss? Virgil's voice has grief and anger and pride in it. What could I do? His hand covers his eyes, and he's now turned from me as if he can't bear it. You're in over your head. What? Virgil, why? Get away from me, before you regret it, and I do too. Virgil's hands drop to expose a face raised with grief. It feels shockingly intimate, as if I'm witnessing a door flying open into a soul. This is a person who's been going through his own particular hell, and right under everyone's noses. I've never seen a man cry. It transforms him. It is shocking to witness this peeling away of all the complex adult layers to expose the soul of a broken boy. Virgil sobs. holds out a hand to a tree to steady himself, wipes a finger across his nose trying to stem the tide, but it's no use. I hold both his shoulders. The connection makes him tremble even more. What happened? I ask it soft, but he says to stop it, please. To just go, leave, as if I'm too close to something here, but he will not say what. He'll never say it. Go, from all of us, and never say anything about this. For your own sake and mine, Poss. Please, mine. I hover my hand gently over Virgil's arm. He tosses me off. Right up close. Too close. I can smell the eggs and steak from breakfast. And something else musky underneath. He needs a shave and to have himself sorted. It's been a while. He's neglecting his toilet, unravelling here like everyone else. I'd like to help you, Virgil. Help them. Since you came, everything's gone wrong. He takes a deep breath, tips back his head, steadies himself. And I've got some questions for you too, actually. As if Virgil's desperate for deflection, to throw the light onto someone else. Like what? Like, how did you get here? Really? Delivered right to our doorstep. My back is now against the trunk of a great wide tree. He is close. We speak in stabs of whispers, as if the sky is listening in and rumbling its disapproval. I go to push him away. Virgil won't budge. Someone helped you, Poss. Who? I bat off his close face. He clamps my chin. Tell me. I say that I'll inform his father of everything if he doesn't let me go. Then leave him to deal with the mess. What does he know, Virgil? As much as me? The man moves his bulk closer. Everything in him is poised, but I push back. Why do people think the natives have gone? Why doesn't anyone expect them back? I will him to astound me with the truth. What did you do to them, Virgil? What did you all do? What did I do? Me? Ha! He propels me further into the bush, far from the ears and eyes of the big house, its tuts and taunts. Virgil stands in front of a ripping tree and leans on his arms that are crossed above his head, his face to the bark's softness and shielded from me. Then he begins. Quietly. So quietly, I have to slide into a sit to listen. To a tale of a father wedded to his family and the wishes of a querulous, demanding wife. A tale of a man who needed to rid his land of the blacks, the pests, once and for all. Because the father had come to this fine coastal land and lived in a tent, and had built a house with his church-going friends alongside him, while his wife had stayed in town with their young sons and baby girl, their little Faith, until the clearing business was done and they'd be safe. Yet they never were, because the pesky blacks kept coming back. They fought for their ground. They taunted and haunted it and refused to give it up. But the big house was Mr. Craw's. By right, he had a land grant from the governor, so he decided to do something, once and for all. For his family, his sanity, his precious baby girl's safety, and for his wife. Are you ready, Poss? Don't you ever ask me again what I did to them, because you know nothing about this island. Virgil breathes deep through his nostrils, as if this account is being extracted from the rancid pit of his stomach, and he can barely dig his words out. And so a tale begins, of a day of happy, breezy blue, a Sunday after church, his father in the thick of it, with his merry men all on horseback and furious over their years of taunting and torment. So, a bit of Sunday afternoon sport. The tribe is rounded up. Men on horses, guns, whips. The tribe is driven over a steep, plunging cliff by the beach. By all the good men of the church. To their deaths, I gasp. Virgil nods. No, God. Some escape. They're shot. Then a baby is found. A tiny boy on a Coolaman. He's buried in the soil with his head above the ground. I'm now tight in a ball on the ground, covering my ears and groaning. Virgil continues. A game is played. What game? It's barely voiced, and Virgil exhales a deep breath. Heavy breath. As if he's infinitely old now and wearied by it. A game to kick the baby's head off, clean off to win. I yowl into the ground like some wild thing. My fingers push through the soil. I want to cover myself with it and disappear entirely from this island, this cursed place. Yet Virgil goes on. That it's how things are done around here. It's all about secret codes and clearings, and no one official is meant to know. It's what the natives have lived with for the last 10 years or so. A pause. As have we. A pause. And some of us are going mad with it. I'm bent on the ground, scratching at the skin of my face as Virgil goes on and on. That it's called a Sunday shooting party because expeditions like this often happen after church, and no one finds out because these things are never found out, or else the law would get involved and the men would be punished, and we can't have that. So the shutters are drawn, and it all slips off into rumour and folklore and forgetfulness. And only those closest to what happened carry with them the truth of it. Like me, us, everyone here at Willowbrae, who are stained by it, each in our way. And it's untalked of, silenced. But it's deep inside our heads and we can't get rid of it. Virgil finally looks at me. And that's why you shouldn't be among us. There are people of good conscience here. But this business isn't finished yet. And it'll never be finished while my family is on this land, and you don't want to be a part of it. Virgil walks away, hunched into his coat as if he's shrugging the entire world of Willowbrae off and leaving me to it. Or not. Repulsion. The sky hangs, pregnant. The world is waiting for relief. My fingernails are dirty from gripping the earth. My throat sore from yowling. I need love and warmth and connection. From my dear little mouse most of all. Need his childlike cleanness and innocence amid all this. I just want to burrow into the unsullied smell of his hair and the dip in the back of his neck and his still, yielding body that's almost porous with acceptance. He's in the parlour, trying to get the attention of his mammy. She's deep in her sewing, a new dress for me, I suspect. Mrs. Craw is attacking the cloth with a jabbing quickness, as if she really doesn't want to be doing this, but must. She scrabbles at the cross at her chest and mutters to herself, pressing the ebony against her forehead like she's trying to cool her fevered flesh. A strand of wilful hair has escaped, and she doesn't brush it back. "Leave me alone!" She frowns at her pestering boy. He wants her to taste a new dough concoction, a gloop of dubious lumpiness. "Scat! You're worse than a fire that needs tending." She needs the pesky encumbrance gone. He won't go.
Get away! I need peace!
The little boy runs past me with a tear-crumpled face, because of the weapon of love withheld. For a child, the most callous weapon of the lot. Outside are a few spits of wet, but the storm is dissipating and heading elsewhere after its sulky build-up. The world feels like it's waiting, parched, that it didn't get enough relief. I head after Mouse into the bush and find him on a low tongue of rock jutting into the harbour, near the cliff. A shudder. It's so steep. The rocks below so viciously jagged, like they've been thrown from a great and furious height. I sit beside Mouse and silently hold him, curving over him in a shield of solace. Need this. He surrenders without words, as if he loves nothing more than being cradled against an unknown dark, then licks me like a puppy in a grateful hello. "You'll never leave me, will you, Possy?" I inform him that I'm his big sister now, and will always protect him because that's what big sisters are for. He squeezes his glee into me. "Protect me from what?" I hesitate. What does he know of the horrors so close? He knows of the Room of Bones, if nothing else, and that's horror enough. I murmur vaguely, "Everything. Nothing. You're all right." And Mouse is satisfied, and wanders off, and retrieves from between two boulders a fishing rod made from a stick, with a hook fashioned from a piece of abalone shell. The sun has come out fully now. The clouds have dispersed, and the splodges of wet have almost completely disappeared from the rocks. Mouse perches on the edge of one, and pats a seat next to him. The line's made of dried fish gut. Clever, Puss. Outbush, the cleverest." I stroke my boy's earlobe between two fingertips. "Indeed you are, Captain." We sit in a repairing silence, listening to the lap of waves on water-softened stone. I softly sing. "But when I came here to survive with a hey-ho, the wind and the rain, by swaggering could I never thrive, for the rain it raineth every day." Mouse nudges me affectionately. "With hey-ho, the wind and the rain? Yeah, right, that's really going to happen. The storm ran away." I smile. He's right. His line tugs. He draws in a flapping fish. "What did I say? The best, Puss." The gasping, panicking creature is too small. I urge him to toss it back. "What? No?" "Yes, Mousie, come on." The boy bursts into tears, too quick. Surely I'm not ganging up on him. I'm on his side, I insist. Mouse is inconsolable. He wants the fish dead and gutted by a knife, but I won't let him. It needs to get back in the water, to grow. Mouse howls. I glance around as if in a crowded street, wondering who can hear. This feels like failure. He's so babyish and loud and unhinged all of a sudden, and I can't stop him. Yet he has his whole life ahead of him to learn the rules of fishing, of when to hand back and when to take, to learn the rules of men, of when to destroy life and when to not. I scold that his mammy will want him to toss the fish back, that it's right. I'm always trying to do the right thing. I cook and clean, do the garden, try everything. It only ever makes her cross. She wanted a girl, not me. I'm never good enough for her, ever, ever. He stamps his foot. His hands are clenched in anguish. I clasp my little mouse close and promise that he always has my love, as a sister, and it'll never be withdrawn. And as I speak, I think back to the strop in the parlour and wonder if his mammy is fracturing in some new way, splintering right in front of us all, with something bottled up deep inside. She seemed so brittle as she stabbed her needle into its cloth and told her boy to scat, with something like hate. In which a room is invaded unseen. We return hand in hand to the big house. The French doors to my room are swinging in the breeze, and the curtains waving an airy greeting. It isn't how I left them. Again? A hand is pressed to my racing chest. I look around, feel something undeclared, watching. Virgil is hacking at dead roses over a garden wall, and I yell across to him to accompany us to my room. Please, to check it, as protection and witness, because someone has possibly been in it.
What? Are you mad?
Please, Virgil, just help me. He shrugs.
Fine. With pleasure, my crazy little puss,
Tobin says loudly over the top of his brother, walking into view from behind a ripping tree. I didn't realize he was also in the garden. Tobin examines me playfully in the way that used to make my stomach dip. Comes up close. Our hands graze. I used to be too alive to that touch, spilled. Now I snatch my hand away as if burnt. Virgil stays his course, perhaps sensing I do not want to be alone with Tobin. And so I have all three Craw brothers accompanying me. My eyes dart around the tiny space of my room, fingers travelling jumpily over the surfaces. Something feels rearranged, missing. But what? Mouse is fearful. I ask what's different. Can he tell? He shrugs. Afraid. He has no idea. Virgil is silent, watching us all.
So what's going on here, puss?
Tobin stands back with his hands in his pockets. He remarks that the doors sometimes bang by themselves, and maybe that's it. Maybe I'm really going mad here. The wind's been up with the storm that wasn't. It could be that. But of course, the painting of the little girl drowning in her finery. It's gone. Not even the hook that held it to the picture railing is left. Tobin scoffs that it was never there. Not in this room. Mouse can't remember. Virgil has no idea. Really? All of you? The girl with the claustrophobic frills and her eyes just like Mouse's, and her stare. I spin, laughing nervously. Is this house haunted? What's going on?
Absolutely nothing, according to us,
Tobin says. I rub the wall where the painting was, where the little girl stared at me day after day. She was there. Tell me I'm not mad, someone. Please.
Ah, but if you lose your mind, it means you fall in love with me, which is exceedingly excellent in my book. So yes, most certainly you are going mad.
Tobin laughs.
Along with Mouse. You're both addled in the head, I think.
He rocks on his heels in merriment. I back away. Tobin's charming ways feel so flippant and hollow now. Something has soured. Mouse roars at him, beating at his stomach with tiny, ineffectual fists. Stop it, Tobin! She's my friend, not yours. Stay away from her. Mr. Craw bursts into the bedroom.
What is going on in here? Your mother has the headache. Why are all three of my sons in this bedroom?
He turns to me in fury.
It's extreme impertinence. What girl are you bringing into my life? Puss thinks she's losing her mind, Pa.
Tobin smiles provocatively, challenging me to refute it.
She invited us all here. She says things are going missing from her room, and she wanted us to see for ourselves. I've been assuring her she's most certainly not mad, just confused.
He raises his eyebrows at Virgil, who still says nothing.
I've gently explained to our guest that the doors sometimes open of their own accord in this house. Tobin, Virgil, get back to the roses. Mouse, to your room.
Mr. Craw turns to me with a face set in fury.
Puss, the library, now.
His voice sounds wrong. It doesn't let me in. He rubs his finger furiously at his waistcoat's edge. But sir, someone... He holds up his hand in a vast stop. Not here, not now. He's the embalmer of my curiosity, doggedly shutting me down. Yet I hold my head high to him, because now is my chance to have this out. A new chair. Mr. Craw sits heavily at a desk in the library, indicates the chair opposite him. I obey, arms crossed. I've witnessed the uncontrollable snap of his rage, and it feels like his frustration and fury have stolen a good Christian man and warped him into someone else. I open my mouth to speak, but he holds up his hand as he leaves through some notes in a ledger, as if anticipating everything I'll be saying and putting a stop to it. But I won't be stopped. I'm sorry for all the fuss I've created, sir. I began on the wrong foot, right from the start, and regret it. But what's out there, and... Mr. Craw's fingers saw at the desk's edge, as if his internal itch is slowly eating him from inside and will never be quelled. It's worming its way out. He looks across at the Bible on its golden plinth opened in readiness, then closes his eyes, as if shutting out not only his guest right now, but his entire world. He opens a shallow drawer and extracts a pipe, lights it like a man in a desert drawing in water, and the smell is of my father, and I close my eyes and think of him in that moment, of what he'd do next. A barbed silence.
How did you find us, Puss?
It seems we are now settling down to the nub of it, like two men in a pub as the whiskey begins to bite. I don't remember, sir. Mr. Craw says I must be protecting someone.
You can't have arrived here by yourself.
His fingers drum the table in hard taps. I tell him that toughness is character, and he says that gentleness and obedience can also be character, and I flare that I don't admire those qualities so much. A raised eyebrow.
Well, you should, because I need some cooperation.
He shuts his eyes, and keeps them shut, as if he's energizing himself by doing this.
Right now.
He opens his eyes and points to my head, his finger wavering.
The hair, the trousers, the public declarations, the persistence. All my boys in your bedroom. You're a troublemaker, Puss. You're becoming a problem.
I gasp in refute. Am an open wound in that moment. Everything hurts as I feel my palace of fury once again closing over me. I don't mean to be a problem, sir. I'm just trying to be my father's daughter, the daughter that he raised, to do what is right and necessary. My words are fast, stumbly. And your son, Tobin, he crowds me in, stalks me, agitates me.
You imagine things, child. Quite possibly make things up. I have seen nothing of what you talk of.
What? Mr. Craw's high hand maintains its control. The man points to a homily on a plaque above the door. Forget the former things. Do not dwell in the past. He leans in and tells me gently, so gently, that I have to move onward with everything. I have to rest and repair myself and forget the past.
It's the only way to live a free life, Puss. It's what I practice all the time.
He leans back, sighs.
You're too loud, girl, too big with your energy. Doggedness in a woman is most unbecoming. You take up too much space. In my house and in my head.
I retort that I was raised like this and know nothing else.
Well, God help your family then, Puss. And by the way, who are they, pray tell? Come on, out with it. I gasp. I've gone too far. Indicated to this man that I know who raised me, which means I may well know my real name. An internal buckling. I clamp a cry. The wild unfairness, the growing anger, and I need to distract him with the unstoppable question rising in me. Were you involved in their deaths, Mr. Craw? Did you do it? The man looks at me in confusion, as if knowing for the first time exactly what I could mean to his world. Is this what you do? To get your supply? I grip the edges of my chair, waiting. Yet the explosion does not come. He tells me softly that I know nothing of the bush and get everything wrong and need to go elsewhere very soon, for everything loud and unquiet in me is too ingrained now. You're a danger to us, Puss, to my family and livelihood. You could destroy me. He nods, as if only just realizing it. You refuse to entertain doubt. Your mind is too swiftly made up, to the detriment of everyone. It's a humanizing quality, you know, doubt. I shut my eyes on him. Mr. Craw is like hurting sand from the beach in high wind. With nothing now to lose, I stand to take my leave, but then a snap of revulsion takes over me, and I tell him that the natives are people, not animals, with souls, and that St. Paul's decree is neighbour must love neighbour. And where is his Christian charity now? Because you sell bones, sir, from dead people. That is your low and wicked trade. And you kill them, don't you, to get what you want? He crosses his arm at his chair. The fingers of his right hand are clamped under his armpit, as if to still down the jump of them. He says nothing. Where is your God, sir? Where, in the pit of your soul, is God? You sully his good name, for me and for all of us. Mr. Craw shouts at me so loudly I jump. Shouts that the natives are not neighbours and not even properly human. They're pre-religion, primitives. Do you need their bones, Mr. Craw? Is it lucrative? I pace the room, knowing I'm rushing headlong into disaster here, but cannot stop my words as I hear my father's indignation rise in me and take over. And I'm told to get out, yet do not, cannot. This has gone too far. You invade and disrupt, child, with absolutely no basis in fact, and by doing so, you publicly threaten the very fabric of this house. I stop at the Bible on its golden plinth. Anger is coiled. I rest my hand on the book and tell Mr. Craw, very calmly and very low, that a black man carried me to his doorstep. In an act of great charity, sir, and civility, and courage. Oh, I've heard what happened in these parts. Yet he returned to make sure that I was safe. A stranger. And that is Christian charity, sir. Everything that Jesus wanted us to be. Yet it's not your way, is it? With your perversions? Mr. Craw's fists smash upon the desk. You're mad, child. Seeing things, it's a sign of hysteria, and that ridiculous insistence on men's clothes was only the start. There is no black man here or anywhere near Willowbrae. You had a blow to the head and need medical help. Is he right? No, surely. You need a doctor immediately. I swear on the Bible that it was a native man who rescued me. Impossible. You're deranged. I place both hands flat on his Bible, willing him to reason. Get away from my precious book, heathen. I know there was no black man to save you. How? Because the dogs did not bark.
in which cracks appear. A standoff of fury as the bell is rung for lunch. Mr. Craw and I stare at each other across his desk. Mrs. Craw puts her head around the door and beckons us to dine, without noticing the tension between us. Her cross hangs awry around her neck. The ebony chain is caught across her jacket, as if the cross has recently been clutched, then flung aside. Mr. Craw stares at it, goes to say something, and stops. "What are you waiting for?" Mrs. Craw cries out. We both dissolve into obedience and make our way out behind her rapidly disappearing back.
"I'm warning you,"
Mr. Craw whispers flintily into my ear.
"You be in your best behaviour. Don't go making any trouble."
I nod as I walk up the corridor, with Mr. Craw crowding the space behind me and Mrs. Craw oblivious ahead of us. She's changed her clothes and freshened her hair, and is now a picture of maternal calm. Her blue dress with yellow flower buds is freshly stiff, as if holding her up. Everything is in its place.
"Argus seems very interested in the natives of this land,"
Tobin declares during lunch, to everyone and no one. His father glances at him, annoyed. Now is not the time. His mother says nothing, as if willing herself. Tobin makes a casual comment about missing them, actually, their corroborees, bush medicine, chants.
"Sometimes, I wish they were back."
He smiles directly at me, his knuckles balled under his chin. I look at him with my head cocked. What's he playing at? Mr. Craw is watching us both. I look at his precious Tobin, marvelling at his beauty, his scoffing ease. But whereas once it attracted me, it now repels me. He's the firstborn son who knows exactly who he is in the world and always has. It all feels so confident and unclottered and clear, and it's a firmness that will carry him through life. He's so lucky. Virgil, on the other hand, is turned in on himself, biting his skin on the side of a blackened fingertip. His face is pasty and sweaty, as opposed to Tobin's smoothness. It's unfair that one sibling can be so blessed and the other so soured. But this one contains depths. He's the one to note. What does he know that the rest do not? And what does his father know? I watch them all.
"You want them back, Tobin?"
Virgil asks, hard.
"Need more girls in your life? Don't have enough? Well, you, brother, certainly enjoyed them when they were around."
"Stop it!" Mrs. Craw's voice cracks whip-quick across the table. She's exposed in that instant. Not a drop of black blood will ever sully the fortress of this grand family name. Tobin explains to me that his darling Mammy is always searching for perfection in herself and family, and she'll punish any hint of failure because she can't tolerate it. But it's a perfection that no one can provide because no one is perfect, of course. He tips an imaginary hat to his brother.
"Well, Virgil? Possibly."
The brother goes very still, with his palms flat on the table, and waits. Mrs. Craw claps her hands to stop all this nonsense, and in a rising inflection asks if her husband has secured the house, her voice slipping from her. He nods to confirm a ritual seemingly endured many times, yet his wife stands abruptly, not trusting him. She moves around the room like a penned dog, opening curtains and peeking out, then abruptly pulling them shut, pushing in a stray chair, and patting Mouse's hair, then a lamp, like there's no difference between them. Her youngest is eye-deep in stare, just as when I first met him, looking at nothing but a point on the wall, and lost to the lot of us. Is he in shock? I glance at all the Craws. It feels like some external pressure is closing in on the entire family and slowly crushing them, and they all know it. I stand, excuse myself. Mr. Craw remonstrates, but I put an arm around his wife's jitteriness and tell her that everything is secure and fine, and perhaps she should retire for the afternoon. I'll take her to her room. She needs it. The older woman looks at me, as if no one's ever said this to her before, and nods, yes, she does need it. I lead her out, as the menfolk watch in silence. Once we have left the dining room, the voices swell in agitation, and the door is shut behind us, and I can't make anything out. In Mrs. Craw's room, I help her to bed, and she suddenly grips my arm and will not release it. I wish we'd known each other in another life, Puss. Edinburgh or somewhere. I miss it so much, you know. This contrary, complex woman suddenly seems like a child. Her agitation is seeping into all corners of her life and aging her into vulnerability. And her menfolk don't seem to care. As if they're tired of all her flurries and turns, and perhaps if they ignore them, they'll eventually go away, surely, as they always do. All the strange and exhausting ways of women. I thought that you were a gift from God, Puss, that you'd been sent here to rescue me. But you wouldn't obey me, would you? Oh, I miss it so much. The soft light and soft rain and a life that's easy, just easy. Mrs. Craw wails, then scrabbles in wonder at her sheets and declares they'll be good for some clothes and she'll stay up all night to sew them. Yes, as she furiously tears at some cotton thread by her bedside. But I tell her in a calm voice, it can wait, all of it. Shh. No, it can't. We have to make this right. She's furious at me, but also at herself, as if having another female at Willowbrae has been a failure, and she can't bear it, can't bear to lose another girl, another daughter. I draw the curtains tight on her windows, but at the sight of Flea galloping from the house at great speed, I ask where he's going. Mrs. Craw murmurs vaguely she has no idea. Men and their business, I don't know. Don't trouble yourself, girl. I shiver. This place is so unquiet. There's something about it. Do you think it might be haunted? Haunted? Oh, pop it. Mrs. Craw looks as if she can't bear to tell me the truth, to deal with any of it, and bats me away. I head for my room. How long have I got here now? What am I going to do? I run my hands down the walls of the central corridor, as if pushing it all away. Who'll give me solace? Anyone in my canyon-vast loneliness? Who'll comfort me here when I most need it? Not Tobin. He can no longer be trusted. He's someone who's always going to be about his own desires and needs and wants. And not Mouse. He's too young. Who can I turn to? The vicar. Only him. And how ironic is that? I want the quiet between our souls that stilled each other down. Want that good, calming man. But he isn't close enough. I am aware of every sound outside my room, every footstep. Dread Mr. Craw's heavy thud coming down the hall. Lie on my side on top of the bed. Feel like a dog turned in on itself in the grass, its back to a cold wind. It hurts to be in this place, and my headache is gathering at the corners of my forehead as if, like Mrs. Craw, I'm being infected by it. In which the loneliness of the outsider is considered. Later. Mr. and Mrs. Craw are in discussion in the hallway. I press my head against my bedroom door. But she's the girl I finally got. A guttural wail rises from the matriarch, and I open my door to see her folding over, as if someone has punched her in the stomach, and she crumples into a comma held up by the wall. She sees me, and her face changes.
"Stop hovering,"
she hisses.
"It's no good you being here. For you, for any of us."
I shut my bedroom door. Outside the knowing.
"And don't go anywhere near my boys again."
The indignant yell is flung from the other side of the wood. My future is closing over me like a blindfold here. I open the door again, fury rising like heat, and stride towards Mrs. Craw. "What exactly have I done wrong here, ma'am? Please tell me so I know." Mr. Craw turns to me.
"You need to recover. You're seeing things, making them up now. Go back to your room and stay there while we work out what to do with you."
It's like the air has been snatched from my lungs. I try to breathe, but can't draw in enough oxygen to fill my body up. Can't catch a deep breath. I appeal to Mrs. Craw, but she holds up a palm against me and turns and stumbles down the hall. I stalk back to my room with the velocity of an arrow propelling me into a future unknown.
"Go to your room and stay there,"
repeats Mr. Craw, his palm clamped under his arm. The door is closed behind me and locked. I pace the room, brain stolen by agitation. What to do? Can't run away into the forbidding bush with its ridges and valleys and cliffs and rocks. It would swallow me up, and I'd die in the heat, or fall from a precipice, or be bitten by a snake. Can't head down the road to town because we're too far away. I'd die of hunger and thirst. I'm stuck, trapped in a prison that hasn't quite declared itself, but seems far, far worse right now than the prison I was going to be trapped in, the one called marriage to the man I didn't want. I push away the manuals and can't bear to open the Bible by my bed. Draw the coverlet over my head. Every instinct tells me to get away, to run, but I don't know where. Collecting. Later that afternoon, when the house is quiet, I go in search of Mouse. His retreat from the house feels too thorough. I wander restlessly in search of him outside, amid that wall of sound like an orchestra, shrilling, then abruptly stopping. He's by the vegetable garden, has just caught a cicada, and holds out the insect's vibrating magnificence in the cage of his hands. "It's a black prince, pussy, the best, as for my collection." "Like the one in the library, on the table under the glass. Is that yours?" "It's Mammy's. We all collect for her." "Oh." He spans out a wing to show me its lead-like beauty, and accidentally pulls the membrane off. "Whoops!" The insect is thrown away. I step back, examining the pragmatic and unsentimental child of this land, hardened in the ways of the bush. "There's plenty more where he came from, pussy. They're making that screeching sound, and there's a lot of them." "Oh, I wondered what that was." I trail after him as we search for more cicadas. "Lead on, Captain Mouse," and we chatter away. Then I carefully slip into the conversation a question about whether he knows where the bodies of Tinkin's mother and sister are, whether he's afraid, and whether, by chance, he ever wants to leave here. Mouse tells me he knows nothing about anything. "I'm being good, pussy, now." I hold his arm. "Do you ever want the Glade thing to happen again, Mouse?" "No," he answers. "No," with anguish. "I just want everything to stop." His plea is so quiet, I barely catch it. Then he bashes at the bush with his stick in a furious manner. No, he doesn't know anything about anything, and please stop, please. If only I could ease the path for my little friend. But he won't say any more, and so we head home, holding hands, silent and cicada-less. Mrs. Craw calls from the veranda as we make our way up the lawn, asking where we've been. She's nervy, jittery. Mouse doesn't want to explain anything, and I can feel in his reluctant hand that he's a volcano of suppressed anguish. What does he know? Next to Mrs. Craw is an enormous spider's web, golden tinged. At its centre rests a tiger-striped arachnid as big as a handspan, with a belly like a chestnut about to crack. And she catches my intrigue and sweeps the web away with a swift flap of her embroidery, then turns and smiles at me, hard.
Do not place any of your ideas in my little boy's head.
The voice is honeyed and calm, woman to woman, with a world of unspoken things beneath it. I wasn't, what? Mouse jerks his head and murmurs to his mother something about us wanting to find the bodies, but then stops, abrupt, as if to divert the conversation. Mrs. Craw propels herself forward with a cyclonic force and slaps her son hard across the face.
I warned you!
He's furious. I told Pa! The shard of his words right back at her. Everything! His mother is stopped. A world of weight between them. Then she takes her howling son by his ear. With no loosening of her grip, she says to me in a studiously calm voice to get back to my room.
And by God, you stay there.
And she drags him away. I lie on the bed with my hands over my ears, as if the weight of this entire house is closing in on me like a great press of water in a drowning. Muffled voices from Mouse's room. Threats I can't make out. Poor little man. This day is soiled. This whole stay is. Willowbray now feels like this malevolent beast squatting on alien soil, poised, waiting to crack open. It's such a strange, out-of-place building in this beautifully wild world, with a core of darkness just down the hallway. Later, a flushed Mrs. Craw flurries into the room with a dinner tray and tells me to stay away from her boys and the rest of the house. I'm banned from it all now, except for family meals, and banned from every one of her boys, including her husband. I go to laugh, but stop myself. It's like she's cracking apart, going mad with it. But with what? In my bedroom, alone again, the big house feels suddenly very quiet and dark. As if everyone has decamped from Willowbray, and I'm now left alone in a dwelling holding its breath. But for what? I open the door a few times, but each time it's slammed shut on me by Mr. Craw, maintaining a watch outside my room. At bedtime, I hear an elaborate turn of the key in the lock. A night of toss. Too quiet. Too quiet. All of it. And then my fears take hold. That man could be capable of disappearing me, have me lying dead in the bush. Am I mad to even think it? He could have me sprawled under a tree and looking peacefully asleep, and no one would know what had happened. Mr. Craw could tell the world their visitor, known only as Poss, had succumbed to the knock that had turned her head, a knock that everyone knew of. Or she'd eaten wild berries, or been bitten by a snake. Who knows? And it was regrettable, of course, but to be expected from someone like this. The girl with the wild hair, who wore trousers, and asked questions, and didn't know her place. They'd all believe it, and my grave would be unmarked, for I never gave anyone a name. And that would be it. Disappeared from this earth. As easy as that. I cannot sleep. The 6th day. The decision. Flea brings me my breakfast on a tray, then comes back to collect it. When I go to leave the room with him, he stops me He tells me I'm required to stay here and go nowhere else, and he gives me nothing more. So, the whole house is in collusion now. I spin from him in frustration and notice that the painting of the girl is mysteriously back. The wretched painting. How? By the time I turn to flee to ask how it got here, he's vanished down the corridor, and I'm left with the little girl trussed up as a bride, staring at me with a challenging gaze. Wherever I am in the room, I throw my pillow at it. If I had my knife, I'd quite possibly slash it. Mrs. Craw retrieves me for an early lunch. She directs my dressing, smooths my silk, and straightens and fusses without a single word, despite my attempts to draw her into talk, as if she hasn't heard me, or doesn't quite trust herself. Mouse is not with us, only Tobin and Virgil. Flea nods to me as if he's relieved to see me. Mr. Craw is curiously unlocked as he dabbles with his stingray, scraping it amiably around his plate.
We call it skate in these parts.
I don't answer, trying to read the room. Can't. Except it's obvious that everyone knows something I don't. Mr. Craw chews loudly, enjoying it. His wife doesn't admonish him, even though I know she must hate the swish of other people's food in their mouths, the imperfection of it. Her husband is freshly scrubbed and released, as if some storm within him has passed. He stands abruptly, walks to me, and puts both hands lightly on my hair, as if in a tender benediction.
We're worried about you, little puss.
His hands press in, ever so slightly.
That blow to your head. We fear you may be seeing things. We watch you jumping at every small noise, running around in the bush in your night clothes, babbling about ghosts and black people. All manner of things that don't exist. And now, my wife says, there are irregular menses. It's all very concerning.
I want to violently shrug him off. Hold myself very still. I'm fine, sir. Really.
It's not for you to decide.
Mr. Craw's fingers tighten their clench, as he tells me a doctor will soon be seeing me. Ah, right, so that's it.
We're worried about you, puss, gravely.
And as he speaks his smooth words, I feel as if my heart is being dragged into my belly. I do not need a doctor, sir. I'm fine. My sore head is fixed. I pull at the lace at my neck, at Mrs. Craw's tight little knots holding it secure. They're scratching me up. I feel hot, sweaty, constricted. I look at each of the Craws poised over their stingray and shark and oysters, their bounteous feast from the fat of this land. Mrs. Craw is toying with her food, whether out of disdain for the local dishes, or it's something else. I'm not sure. But it's a grand occasion for them today, from the tone of the food and clothes, as if they are celebrating something. Yet I don't know what. I look across at Mr. Craw, now seated again, leaning expansively back in his seat.
You know nothing of this island, puss. Always read too much into everything.
Quite a new man before me, unfurled in some kind of victory. Because a doctor has been arranged to assess me, this afternoon, in fact. It's a friend of Mr. Craw's, a good man, and he should have done this earlier.
My good doctor is arriving soon, very soon.
My skimming heartbeat, too fast. A doctor. I know what this could mean, where this could lead me, to a place walled by stone I may never get out of. And I turned down the vicar when he offered escape, and now I am trapped by all of these people. And I look in silence at this man in his supremacy and want to cry into his strong fatherly arms, yet run screaming from them. I turn to my once ally, his eldest son, the man who kissed my eyelids only a few days ago. I swallow my pride. Need him now. But he looks away. Of course he does. There's the slap of his whole body as he turns. I glance to the other son, who once drew a woman with heart-cracking tenderness. Perhaps he, now, is my only ally. Virgil? It's hardly voiced. The word constricts in my throat. Virgil, please. It might mean I can't even voice the horror of it. But nothing. Virgil, what's happening? I'm talking to him as if we're the only ones now in this constricting room. He shakes his head to silence me, as if now is not the time, while Tobin's beautiful lean finger runs along the length of the salt shaker, and runs along it. I stand up, trembling, and walk to them both, crouch down to where Tobin sits. It's unseemly, I know, but I am beyond caring what is right and what is not anymore, and my face looks up to his, close. He can't avoid it. Tobin, please help me. I shut my eyes on the memory of his lips long ago, the lips to my lids that rescued me once. But of course get nothing in return. This is who he is. Then I turn to Virgil, the one with the open heart, surely, who recognizes the courage in difference and respects it. Don't leave me stranded here, Virgil, please. I'm frightened where this might lead. My heart, waiting. One tiny word, any single word will be a rescue, will mean someone is on my side still, that someone here has a conscience. But nothing. They don't even look at me. So, I feel viciously alone here now, and the sensation has been increasing over the days as my entire future contracts. No one will help me, and the good doctor is about to arrive. I stand, contained, and walk back to my seat, the humiliation burning through me. Am I that hard to love? My brother always told me so, yet I refuse to believe it. But now, I feel wrong in every way, just as my brother and Mariana always made me feel wrong. And now Mr. and Mrs. Craw too, and Tobin, and even Virgil, who was meant to be different. I know now that in everyone, cruelty is a mere flicker from kindness. I know now that I was to be the toffee swallowed whole and carelessly before Tobin moved on. I know now what these brothers are most of all. Family men. They're protecting something here, and protecting themselves. You think too much, Poss. Tobin tosses across, as if in defence. Overthink. Swamp think. You'd have a much quieter life if you just calmed down. About everything. What are you talking about, Tobin? I hold my head. Please stop. Just stop. I can barely push my voice out. We just want some peace and quiet around here, Poss. Tobin says, my father runs this house and my mother needs her calm. Right. Of course. And Ma'am, where are you in all this? A doctor needs to see you, Poss. It's for the best, for all of us. Mrs. Craw's voice sounds flat and tired and rehearsed. She tugs at her cuffs and straightens her already straight cross, and I know now that her desire for order and neatness is like a sickness in her. She needs the medicine of looseness, of letting go. But she'll never find it in this place. The land won't let her, and she knows it. I excuse myself in a weight of thinking and float into the strange new now. Mrs. Craw follows to make sure I'll head straight to my room, no doubt, and that I'll stay in it with the door locked. She lifts the key from her chatelaine in readiness.
Don't even think of speaking, Puss.
Virgil throws at my departing back.
They've won. Don't show them how much it hurts.
I look back. Right. Finally he talks. He looks straight at me as Mr. Craw's hand tightens around his wrist to silence him, then releases it when he's satisfied nothing more will be forthcoming. Then Virgil chews the skin from his nails as if he regrets speaking so nakedly. His father holds his hand gently and lures it away from his mouth and stills it palm down on the table and does not leave him. And I have no one to still my hand, no one to put their arm around my shoulder, no one to hold me tight. I just want to dive into Mouse's room and burrow into his wriggly, yielding warmth, because it feels like he's drawing love into him with each person he holds, that he's hoarding it, the gift of attention. Then I remember what he was like in little moments, with the fish and the cicada, like he was becoming someone else, one of them. This is the end of CD 8. The book continues on CD 9. CD 9, in which I am watched. Mr. Craw's good doctor examines me in the parlour with its hard light. I stand stricken before this stranger, feeling too much but not showing it, holding my head high and not giving him anything of my wild racing heart. The doctor looks as if the sun has been squeezed from him long ago, as if he's been left on a windowsill to gather dust. He has no idea of the workings of someone like me. As he speaks his smooth, too ready words of diagnosis, I have a sensation of the ocean bearing down once again, of its great weight holding me under, and I can't kick my way out of it, into the light, into life. And I suddenly start gulping in panicked breaths, gasping for air that will not fill up my lungs. The doctor stands back, nods. Through heavily lidded eyes that don't quite look at me straight, he insists I am fragile, yes.
Uneven menses?
The query is dry and disinterested, but somehow grubbied. Some information has already been confided, I can tell. Something has already been decided upon. I think back to the conversation in the library with Mrs. Craw, when the colour of my blood was discussed in a prickle of discomfort. Everything was for a reason, of course. The collector was collecting her evidence. "I'm fine, Doctor," muted right back at him, but with blinking eyes that are fighting their own battle against the raging unfairness of this. For my head is full right now of the asylum of industry in this colony, where all the uncontrollable women are sent. But willful isn't necessarily mad. Far from it. It means a woman who might just want to seize responsibility for her own life, to own it by herself.
I said, do you suffer from uneven menses?
Silence.
Tenderness of the breasts?
Silence.
Sensitivity to light? Sudden crying?
Silence.
Uneven temper? Or shall I say willful and disobedient muteness?
I respond with nothing to any of it, because anything I say will incriminate.
Classic signs.
The doctor says.
Headaches, most certainly. Excessive fondness for men's clothes. Cranial derangement, menstrual derangement, precocious puberty. Quite possibly a diseased uterus. Further tests would need to be conducted.
I bite down on my lip. Where is this leading, all these weighted words? But I will not cry.
Furiously, I tip back my face and wipe my eyes in a swipe as he writes and writes. Fragility and hysteria. The doctor concludes, jabbing his fountain pen into the paper with a triumphant stab. Strength is draining from me. It's actually happening, what I dread. I want to snatch the man's wretched notebook and rip out the page, yet can't give him that ammunition. Oh God, I must contain myself. I think of all the women who vanished into Nockleby's asylum, with its walls the colour of a sky in surge. Beth and Mary and Lizzie and Hetty, their crimes? Uneven menses and fret sickness and willfulness and being too emotional and talking too much. And a chorus of crows is now saying it's all in my mind. The murderous deaths and the rescue by a black man and imaginary friends in the bush. And now this doctor is officially confirming it. What are you writing? I rasp at the sunless man, but he holds his hand in an impatient stop. Hysteria, I note, repeatedly scribbled down. The nothing word, the one-size-fits-all word. I'm fine, Doctor, really. This is all about something else. It's not your choice, child. They want me to think I'm mad, but I'm not, really. No, they may think it, but no, they're making it up. It's not your choice. Ah, choice. The prized word, my old friend, back. And the world closes over me, as the doctor takes me to my bedroom with his firm hand clamped on my arm. As he tells me, it's all decided, and there'll be no escape. Ma'am! I yell out wildly in the hallway, but there's no answer. The house rings with a listening silence. The doctor pushes me into my bedroom and shuts the door, and orders me to change into my nightgown in front of him, and I feel invaded by his eyes that do not move away from me, but I have to do as he asks. He is breaking me. If I am pricked, a torrent, I fear, would pour out. He puts me to bed and instructs me to lie on my back with my arms on top of the sheets. Then he traps me tight within the binding cloth and orders me not to move. He takes the key to this room that Mrs. Craw had at lunch and tips it to me and smiles. We both know what it means. Please help me, sir. Please don't do this. The doctor puts his paper-dry hand on my head and says I need rest to get better. How long? That's for me to decide. I tell him I may well be sick, vomiting sick, and he calls for a bucket, which someone unseen leaves swiftly by the door. He checks that the French doors to the outside are secured and locks the door to the hallway as he departs, leaving me fluttery and panicky, a colt in a fresh pen, unable to escape. I shout in frustration and burst from his sheets and punch the wall crammed with its blousy chrysanthemums. Mrs. Craw calls from the hallway. Control yourself. Learn to be a lady. You need to be better. I've got just the thing for you. She clatters away, and I flop back against the pillow. Then Mrs. Craw opens the door and hands 6 books across, as if I'm now contagious with some unspeakable disease that must be quarantined from the rest of the house. Here, she says, improve your mind as you rest. She swiftly shuts the door and turns the key. Ma'am, don't you trust me? I call hopelessly through the door. I'm under instructions, Mrs. Craw replies, giving me nothing. I flip idly through her various books. A manual of medicine and allied nervous diseases among them, and look up the dread word. The mental condition of a woman affected with hysteria is somewhat peculiar. The patient does not feel disposed to make the slightest effort to resist and yields to her emotions. She cares nothing for her duties. The patient laughs or cries immoderately without cause, has hallucinations,
There is pain in the ovary. She is prone to headache. There is a peculiarity of the hysteric which is very characteristic of the complaint, namely, a hysterical patient is afraid to go either to church or to any other place of worship. If she should venture there, she feels as if she should be smothered or suffocated, or as though the roof was going to fall upon her. Well, yes, but no. And my bedroom door is locked, and the doors to outside are locked. I'm trapped. A fly hovers close, and I'm stuck with its whine unless I flatten it. Yet can't bring myself to. Hands slap at the wallpaper and rattle loose doorknobs, but none yield. My legs kick walls and fingers scratch at the door. I scream through the wood as loud as I can, scream for anyone, but no one comes. The house is silent. The day yawns on. The manuals of womanhood are flung across the room. A tome smashes into Faith's doll, dislodging a traumatized eye. Good. So be it. I could never be that girl Mrs. Craw wanted. I peer through the keyhole. The key is in the way. The key. Mrs. Craw left it there. If I could knock it out, then slide it through the gap underneath the door. The large gap, big enough for fingers to reach. I scrabble at the table for a pencil and poke it through the keyhole. Knock out the key. Slip my hand under the door. Have it. I'm out, back on the fighter's path. The path. The parlour. I can hear them. What to do? Run away? Into the bush I got traumatically lost in? Into the town I've never been to and don't know how to get to along winding bush roads with diverging paths? Or run to the ripping tree in Tinkin? Who could possibly be there, but perhaps not? Or do I defend my sanity to the Craws? Yes. I have to break away from my future too set. I stand tall in the doorway of the dining room as Mrs. Craw pours her steamy tea. Flea catches my eye, says nothing. I'm well, I say. I don't need a doctor or confinement. The diagnosis is wrong, and you all know it. I hear my voice, as if at a distance. My voice sounding wondrously strong, steady, and clear. How the blazes did you get out? Mr. Craw bangs a fist on the table. Minx! The doctor rises as all the Craws look at each other, checking who's with them or who not, who colluded or not. Will no one defend me here? Virgil! A spot at the bottom of his teacup holds his rapt attention. So, that is the measure of the man. What is he protecting? I'm brimmed with a wild alone here. No one will come to my rescue. Neither Virgil, who knows too much, nor the little boy who began this, nor the man who kissed my eyelids once. And my fingertips find those very spots now and press, until my eyes ache with starriness, as I stand before them all in their stranding silence. It's for the best, Puss, Tobin says finally, calmly, taking on the mantle of responsibility. For all of us. His mother squeezes his forearm, as if transmitting her strength, and I know in that instant that someone has told Virgil and Tobin something. But what? Who are you protecting? Did you kill them, Mr. Craw? I hear my voice rising. Was it to preserve the good name of your family? I know what you did to the baby long ago, buried in the earth. Except for his head, his little head. The man shuts his eyes, statue still. I know what you are capable of, sir. His wife gasps. The doctor urges me to hold my wretched tongue, but I will not, because I feel emboldened and reckless and wild among them now. They will all have to act, or none. Mr. Craw stands and rubs his fingers along the edge of his waistcoat. His wife puts her hand over his, calming him into a stop. Her other hand clutches her mouse. He is utterly still and withdrawn from the lot of them, blocking the grown-ups out. I stand before their great hedge of silence and repeat that I'm fine, in body as well as mind, and I know I'm fighting for my future here, my freedom, fighting for all my own choices in my life, because if you have none, you are a husk. Virgil, tell them what you know about the dead woman and her child. The man looks straight at me and answers bluntly that he is not on my side over this, and I have no reason to think it.
Stop, Puss, with everything. It's no use.
Mr. Craw stands, takes me firmly by the elbow.
You can be a very trying girl.
I retort that I'm just being honest. I tell the doctor that hysteria, with respect, sir, is a condition that can mean anything. It can be concocted for mere convenience, to get an inconvenient woman out of the way.
Hold your tongue,
the doctor says, crashing down his teacup as Mr. Craw holds both my arms in a steel clamp. The head of the house has had enough of this nonsense. He announces I'm to leave tomorrow, and the Asylum of Industry will repair me, and he does not know how long it will take. Days, months, years for all he cares.
Till death if you must,
Mr. Craw says. And I'll be cleansed of my sins most mercifully. Sins? What about yours, sir? Your sense of Christian charity? You sell human bones. You murder for them. Examine your Christian conscience, please. Mr. Craw speaks very slowly and very quietly.
You have no idea, child.
I say, please listen to me, because I'm not hysterical or fragile, and he knows it. He says that on the contrary, I appeared at their front door semi-naked. Through no fault of my own, sir.
You insisted on wearing men's clothes, he responds. You took them from our cupboards.
I did no such thing. I was given them.
You go around the house at night, Mrs. Craw adds, shamefully half naked. You ask a servant for alcohol.
I look at Flea. His back is turned to me as he arranges the food on a side table, and most resolutely he will not meet my eyes. So he betrays as easily as that, as does Mrs. Craw, who says nothing more. I'm going under. The great weight of the water is pressing on my chest. I turn to my little mate. Mouse, you remember how you helped me with the boys' clothes, yes? He squeals, high-pitched and anguished, and runs from the room, pushing past me as if he's drowning here too and has to be away from the stain of all this.
Do not drag my son into this. You've confused him enough.
Mr. Craw twists the flesh on my arm.
You spout untruths about my family in public, and in a churchyard no less. The carriage will take you away first thing in the morning. You're a wild one, unteachable. I should have recognised it from the start.
He turns to his oldest sons.
Tobin, Virgil, take our guest to her room immediately, and make sure she stays in it.
The brothers nod to their father and herd me off, hemming me in and allowing no deviation from their path. A collusion of silence at all my questions. They're knitted now. There's not a single one of them who will come to my aid. There's not even an eye flick from Flea. So, everyone. What fresh news binds them? Tobin wrenches the key from my fingers.
It's for the best, our best, and your best.
As he pushes me into my room and shuts the door and locks it and pockets the key, I'm sure. I lie on the bed with my arms folded across my chest, shrunken and neat. A single tear runs silently back into the seashell pool of my ear. I now have only the fading light of this ebbing day and night left at Willowbrae, left of a free life. And there's a great and outrageous unfairness at the heart of this. I huddle like a baby on my side and fall into sleep, dreaming of my mother wrapped around my heaving back, clamping me strong on a swan's wing, oily and green-black. Behind us, back to back, is Warai, holding her little Poyer in a fierce maternal clamp. I wake with a start. I did them both wrong. Shouldn't have just assumed they needed removing in a Christian burial, that my way was good and proper and right. I never thought to ask Tinkin what she might actually want. My arms envelop my head and press tight. Everything has gone wrong. I'm always jumping in too quick. Yet no tears will be allowed out, and I don't utter a sound. For no one will know. I will not give them this, my soul. Later, in the vivid alone, I find my voice. A great while ago the world began with the hay, ho, the wind and the rain. But that's all one, our play is done, and I'll strive to please you every day. I sing it over and over to the darkening wild, in a cadence of connection, for my mouse. Pace the room and hold my cheek to the cold door, and do it again. But my little captain never comes. No one does. And there's no way out, because I've tried every way out, and the evening yawns on, then shuts down into night. I fall eventually into a squally sleep across the top of my quilt, in which I am rescued. I wake with a start. Someone's in the room. I shoot up. Oh, Mouse, at the foot of the mattress. How? What are you doing here? My whispering relief. The boy holds the key high and announces he got it from Tobin's pocket, and isn't he the clever one? And I'll strive to please you every day, he sings softly in return, and I throw back my head and punch my fists to the ceiling and laugh in almost silence at this little boy who can surprise me still. Mouse whispers that he had to see me. He's worried about me. He's back in his doctor mode. He has an apple in his pocket in case his posse is hungry, and some lumpy biscuits wrapped in a linen cloth. He throws the apple across, and I catch it in a snatch and eat in great ravenous bites. Mouse doesn't like me caged up. He doesn't understand why everyone has turned strange. He's losing a friend for no good reason, and it isn't fair, and he wants it to stop. They wouldn't let me talk, Puss. Mammy was squeezing my hand every time I tried, hurting me. Her fingernails were digging in. I draw my boy close. He smells of my childhood, of sweat and apples and trust. I hold my fingers over the bedroom key and gently squeeze. Let's get to the ripping tree, I whisper to him. One last time. Come. Before I die in this place, in my heart. Because instinct is calling me back to it. I don't even know why, but I need to get there right now. Is he out there, somewhere, my rescuer? He feels like hope somehow. My last chance. One last adventure, Captain. Come on. Moonlight has slipped its tongue into the room and is calling me out, away, calling us both. Mouse hesitates. Go. No. I spin my little captain in a whirling dance, and he giggles in a softening, and I slip the key from him and hold it high. Oi, give it back. I hold him swiftly tight, pressing him to me to stop his talk and to leech his love from him. And it's like holding a volcano with lava bubbling close. He, too, is brimmed with agitation on this night. Come on, Mousie, do this. Just for me. We won't be long. The ripping tree's over, Puss. It's all been tidied up. It won't let my mind rest. You're going mad with it. Everyone says so. It's all made up, everything you say. Come on, little friend. I need to find a way out of this. This what? Mess. I want to scream at him. This is about my survival. But do not. Just tell him I can't love him forever unless he comes with me now. Can't be his big sister if he scuppers this chance. It's what mates do, Mousie. I tell him if he doesn't come now, then I'll have to go it alone and never speak to him again because his parents won't let me. There'll be no goodbye and no visits, and I'll never come back, and he won't have a friend at Willowbrae. You'll be all alone and, oh God, I need you to quieten the dogs. Mouse, please. The boy's wide-open, traumatized heart. I shut my eyes and hold the key out of his reach because this world of Willowbrae is a stone under my mattress, robbing me of sleep. And I have to do something, anything, to scrub it from my life, to survive this. All right, Mouse says finally. You win. One last time. I grin with relief, shake his hand and tickle him in our secret signal, and he answers in a clutch. Yes, we both need this. I pull on my boots. Mouse already has his shoes on. I open the bedroom door and lock it once again, and we creep through the sleeping house, stopping at every floorboard creak. Then we're out on the veranda. We're flying down the steps and sprinting across the lawn into the vast gulp of the night. Mouse flits ahead and soothes the dogs from their restlessness. The moon has slipped from its cloud clothes, and it silvers the bush in almost daylight. Mouse's feet are steady and swift. He knows the way through the thrilling dark. I'm suddenly aware of a presence, ghostly, right by us. It's there, then not, and it's enormously bush-skilled and fast, on this side of us, then on that, in front and then behind. Tinkin. Oh, Hugh! She's weaving through the bush in parallel to us, flitting and softly singing her teasing, taunting talk, cutting Mouse off from me, then dropping back, then moving in front of us, but never coming quite close enough, never enough to be touched. Come on, Puss, Mouse urges, and we push on, the three of us in some unspoken collusion of childhood that I haven't quite broken from yet. A branch cracks. In an instant, Tinkin is vanished, just like that. She's gone, and the singing stops. But Mouse is not afraid. She'll be back, he murmurs, not breaking his step. She's always back. Hello? I look behind and shiver a flinch, but Mouse runs on, and we get to the beach at last. And the water is warm, warmer in the darkness. And the oysters scrape all over again, and there's fresh blood on my knees, but I don't stop to wipe it off. This is my last chance, to blindside my fate, to tell the doctor and the world I'm not spouting hysteria, but the truth. Because once again, just as before the Finbar's journey to this place, men have imagined a life for me that completely disregards the life I've imagined for myself, in which I am not rescued. The glade is still, waiting. The ripping tree looms over the space, and its great arms reach down, and I rest my cheek on its cool, soft neck. What secrets does it hold deep within it? What has it witnessed? A frog croaks, and something else chirrups in a rhythmical piece, and it seems like the mysteries of the night are just beginning to declare themselves. I feel strangely unalone here, with Mouse and the voices on the wind, distant chanting laments, or perhaps not. The leaves have been scattered. The area feels untidy now, abandoned. Somewhere far away, the wind lament persists, and I reach across to Mouse, and he squeezes my hand, and it feels like we're both in opposition to the world and know little of it. Mouse, I just need some peace of mind. What really happened here? The boy drops his hand as if scolded. He tells me he doesn't want this. He's here to have one last adventure, just like before when we were friends, only that. But I can't be your friend unless you come clean, Mousie. What does your family know? You're breaking the code. You're not being a proper mate. The piracy of withholding, and I hate myself for it. But I need some answers to prove I'm not going mad here. It's all about survival now. Mine. And I need any scrap I can get. I know my words are working their way in, because I can see how hard this is for Mouse. In the clot of his talking, then not. In his starting up, then not. As he finds his way around sentences which need to come out. He finally says that maybe I won't be his friend or anyone else's at Willowbrae if he tells me what he knows. So actually, no, he can't. He won't do it. I grab his upper arms, just as his father has done with me, and dig my fingers in and hate myself for it. Oh, what are you doing, Puss? The shock on his face at this fresh girl before him, at my new hardness. I'm leaving tomorrow, Mouse, and it's not my choice where I'm being sent. It's like a jail, and I might never get out of it. I'll be vanished. So I have to puzzle it out, what to do for me and for us. So we can't have secrets between us, and actually, you might just float with relief after all the bottling up. It'll feel good to have it out. My voice drops to a whisper. So please do this for me. I wrap my friend in my arms and breathe in the smell of his lovely hair. What happened out here? It's all about courage, my friend, and I know it's there deep inside. Courage. Please. No! The little boy cries in confusion. He wants his old Poss back. But I will not slip into my childhood self. That girl is gone. I have to save myself. I feel the cruelty of my brother Ambrose slipping into my voice as I squeeze Mouse harder in frustration, then shake him to rattle the truth out. You're hiding something, I know. What's Virgil told you? What did you find out? He hesitates. Let him go. Virgil rushes out from behind the ripping tree. So he's been tailing us all along. Mouse, you don't have to say anything. Virgil's looking at me in horror, at how I'm holding Mouse, but I won't let go of my boy. I was so close. I won't let go. Then Virgil forcefully severs me from his little brother and flings me away like a scrap of garbage. I scramble back, but the man leaps at me. Leave the boy out of this, and raises his hand to strike me hard on the mouth, as if he wants to obliterate all my questions and accusations for good, to have me silenced. But at that moment, a whirling sprite flies out of the bush and leaps onto Virgil's back to stop him, clawing and biting and pulling his hair and forcing him into a stunned halt. Tinkin! Virgil and Mouse cry out, and the man spins, trying to shake the girl off, but it's only my arms, finally, around her waist. It's me, shh, it's all right, that persuade her to loosen her grip. A standoff. All breathing heavily. All eyeing each other warily. Tinkin's fists are on her hips. I'm bent with my hands on my thighs. What is happening here? I ask, placing a hand on Tinkin's back in thanks. After a silence that's prickly with too much, Tinkin says, It's for him to speak, the one that done it. I slump to my knees. The one that done it. So, they're here among us. But silence. Tinkin says loudly that it's his braveness if he's got it, and his choice, the one who done it, the one who must speak now. Yet again, silence. I turn to the man who followed us here, from his lookout on the veranda, I suspect. Virgil? He says nothing. He just squats with his blackened fingers propping his head, and his face turned from all 3 children before him, whom he cannot look at now. Virgil. But he's stopped. My dawning. Mouse? A sickened swallowing. You? Mouse is now breathing hard, with his hands balled under his chin like he's run for his life for a very long distance and he's about to collapse from it. I hover a hand without touching his back, for I don't know what else to do. Then we hold in a strange, prickly communing quiet as I try to transfer some kind of courage into him. And it's this bewildering kindness that cracks him in the end. I can feel it softening through him like liquid honey down a starving throat. The vast relief of the truth finally out. All right, Puss, all right. He slams his eyes shut as if he can't bear to see it all over again. To see it. And so begins a tale of a little Aboriginal girl who is lost, who can't leave her mother and her baby sister, who haunts this space. I look at Tinkin as Mouse speaks, and she's keening softly, and it feels like all the grieving of the world is in it. I go across and stand by her. Mouse says she's a cheeky one, just like him, always running away and coming back to the ripping tree, back and back to the secret glade that hums with its strange quiet. My place, Tinkin interjects, where I'm born. Mouse goes on. That her older brother was always trying to get her to return to their people, but Tinkin couldn't leave the ripping tree, just as her mother couldn't. And she picks up here and says, "'Cause I need it, and it never goes away. That won't." And yes, of course. Because the vicar has told me that connection to the land here is everything. That the land is like their mother. And if they're not dwelling in it, then they're sickened and lost. And he's seen it with his own eyes, with the friends he's made from this island, that he shouldn't have perhaps, but did. My brother found you, after the storm, Tinkin says to me. Oh, he's called Marang, Mouse says. But you couldn't stay with him. He couldn't take you to his tribe because you would have given them all away. So he took you to our house. Tinkin takes over. He wasn't going to leave you to die out here, but he couldn't take you with us. You belong to white fellas. So I took you to a big house, even but he wasn't allowed near it. Our mermaid on the doorstep, Pussy, remember? I nod, yes, I do. The mermaid who couldn't fix things up. And little Poyer and Warai? Tinkin softly keens in anguish. This bit is so much harder. Mouse presses his stomach on either side, as if he's trying to push the truth out after being clenched inside for so many days, rock hard for so long. He pushes his flesh into hurt. Virgil shifts uncomfortably as if he wants all this stopped. Whatever you tell me, Mouse, I love you, and I'm your big sister, and big sisters keep secrets and protect their little brothers, right? You promise? I stroke my finger along the length of his palm. Tinkin halts her keening and drops on her knees to the ground, waiting for this too, willing him to speak the truth. The truth. With a deep, nervous sigh, Mouse says that one day on his adventures, Mouse found a friend. Just Tinkin. By herself. Or she found him, he can't remember which. I found you. She ran away, Mouse says, but he was desperate for a playmate, so he had to think of a way to bring her back. He reckoned that everyone loved sugar, so he started experimenting by baking his special biscuits, his mouse-made damper cakes with lots of it. One morning he left a batch by the ripping tree, still warm. They were taken. It was a success. So he left some more, and then more, and one day Tinkin was there when Mouse was, and shyly, slowly, they became friends. Mouse knew the ripping tree was the place Tinkin always wanted to be, because she told him her mammy, Warai, used to bring her to this secret place, to teach her the law of the tribe, the way of the women here. But Mouse's mammy got curious about the biscuits being baked so often. Where were they going? To whom? He told her they were for his imaginary friends. She nodded and rolled her eyes. But one day, when he was in the kitchen with her, he slipped into explaining that you could cook fish by wrapping them in the skin from a paper bark, a ripping tree, and you could use a fishing line made from a possum's gut. "How do you know that?" Mrs. Crow asked. Mouse replied in a flash that he'd been taught in a tiny fire that made no smoke. "Who showed you?" "My imaginary friends," Mouse replied. "What imaginary friends?" Mouse clammed up. Felt sick, but his mammy wouldn't let up. "I don't like you going into the bush," she said, getting worked up, pacing the room and dropping her teacup. "I don't like you going out there unsupervised," she shouted. "I didn't know, Mummy. I'm sorry." "I thought you were by the chicken shed or veggie plot. I never knew you went further than that." Mouse replied it was a mistake. He didn't know anything. It was all in his head, just that. Mammy's knuckles squeezed into her temples, tight, like she was squeezing her brains out. She moaned, grabbed her son, dragged him to a ripping tree on the edge of the lawn with a bewildering hate, peeled off some bark, dragged him back and flung him into the kitchen like he was a piece of rag, and it hurt so much. "Who do you love more?" she asked. "Me or your imaginary friends? Show me what they've taught you. Wrap your food in their bark if you know so much. Cook it well and good. Cook, boy, cook." She was crazed, broken, screaming that paper barks were not for civilization, for civilized things in a civilized world. "Do you really have friends out bush?" she screamed. "Tell me they're imaginary, that you made them all up. My nerves can't take it." "I have made them up, Mummy, I have." "I can't bear you being out there, you know that. It'll tip me over the edge if the natives are back and you're playing around with them and bringing them close. I'll leave this place if you are, and it'll all be your fault, all right? Because my nerves can't take it. You have to make your imaginary friends go if you love your mammy, so that everything is tidy and safe. How I like it. If you want your mammy's love, if you want her close, my nerves. If you love your mammy, you have to show your love. So vanish them forever, Mouse. Work it out. Be the man of this house like the rest of them never are. They never do what I want, but you? Lift your head out of your blasted books and pirate ships and do something for once. Fix this. Make them go." Mouse was reeling, sobbing. He needed his mammy happy, needed to help her. But he had a germ of a solution. He knew the kitchen well, too well. Flea had mentioned all the things in storage and how he'd put some bottles on a high shelf out of harm's way so Mouse could never play with them by mistake. It was something that was used a long time ago, before the blacks cottoned on. But Mouse got it. What was in those pretty blue bottles? Sickenin' or something it was called. So, one day, all alone, Mouse put whatever it was into his biscuits. Just a little bit. To make the natives sick, that's all, to scare them off. And he baked his damper biscuits with their sugar in the paper bark in the kitchen coals. And he gave the biscuits to Tinkin as his gift. Tinkin goes very quiet at this point, stands up straight. I put my hand on her back with a wildly thudding heart. Is Mouse a murderer? He continues on. Tinkin always gave a biscuit to her mother first, who always tested it. The children had been instructed to do this. So that was his plan. The mammy would get sick and scared off, and they'd all go away except for his Tinkin, who'd secretly find her way back because she was clever in the bush, much cleverer than him, and she'd never leave her place for good. And Mouse's mammy would be happy again and love him and see that he was the good man of the house that fixed everything up and kept Virgil away from what he loves but isn't meant to, and everything would be all right. What Virgil loves but isn't meant to? I saw him once with War-Eye and Mammy could never know. She wouldn't cope, her nerves. She'd drop dead just like that. Wouldn't she, Virgil? The man says nothing, just rolls in his lips, not looking at any of us. Mouse continues. So, he gave out the biscuits, and the mother ate them as she was feeding her baby. But after a while, it was wrong. Mouse had put too much of the bottle stuff in, and it worked too well and suddenly too fast. And at this bit of the telling, Tinkin starts keening again, louder in a rhythmic chant. Yet she takes over the account. She says that as her mama was suddenly falling, staggering, she fed her baby girl, lip to lip, the mashed-up biscuit. Then she put her baby to her breast to stop her crying and to protect her other daughter, because the baby's screams would bring all the white fellas close. And War-Eye told Tinkin to run and never look back, to never come to the ripping tree again, to leave them both in her place, that she couldn't be away from, that always called her back, the place where she was born and where she'd grown up, her sacred area, and she had to be in it, and she kept sneaking back because she was the keeper of its stories. Over the years, her own mother had made her this. And I have a flash of Tinkin in that moment as a holder of the secrets of War-Eye and of this sacred space. Then the mama lay on the ground in agony around her baby, because she knew her spirit couldn't rest until her body was home. And she was, at last, in a fierce arc around her little daughter, who couldn't survive without her because she was still on the breast and had swallowed some of the tainted milk before the poison had set in. And Tinkin cried that her mama was tired, so tired, that she'd seen so much in her life, and she knew of the future that was ahead, and there was no use fighting this anymore. She couldn't win, and she needed her other girls safe from everything. Then Tinkin stops her talk. The glade is very quiet, as if stunned into stillness. No one speaks any further. No one moves. Mouse slumps with his arms draped over his head, as if shielding himself from the imaginary blows of them all. So, he did it. My little mate. For his mammy. To make her stay. To prove himself to her. Because she never loved him enough. And Mouse found Poya and her mother by the ripping tree with their blackened lips. With me. When he thought they would have been gone by then, someone would have made them disappear, but they hadn't. And he didn't know what to do. It had gone so horribly wrong. But there was a mermaid beside him, and perhaps she was magical and could make everything right, fix his big, awful mess. But I couldn't. And by showing me the bodies, he had made everything worse. Mouse finally talks, a whisper, looking straight at Tinkin. I only meant to give them a fright, so they'd never come back. For Mammy, so she'd be pleased. I just wanted to fix things. I love fixing things. To be noticed, yes. And Mouse is trapped and will always be trapped by this. He turns to me. Don't send me to jail. Don't tell the governor. I thought I was saving them. Why? If they left, the little boy's gulping, sobbing talk, it would never happen to them. What happened to the others? And Tinkin's sister was just a baby. I'd heard what they did to a baby once, and it might have happened to her. I just wanted them to go, to escape, to stop coming to this place. Mouse whispers as if seeing it all before him. He's heard the stories, and he says he knows it would only be a matter of time before his family rounded up the strays, because that's what happens in these parts. He thought that making them sick to scare them off was an easier, gentler way. Thought it was somehow right. Is this what good feels like? The fixer, fixing things up, his very own way. If it is, I don't like it. What's happened to all of us? Because of me. Mouse's anguish and confusion and guilt. I ask if anyone else knew. Virgil. Mouse looks straight at his big brother, who lifts his head for the first time. Mummy once said you had a thing for the native girls, which made her mad. But you just liked them, didn't you? So I told you about my friend because you'd understand. Virgil says nothing. You listen to them, don't you? You write their words in your little red notebook, and you want Puss gone away so she never spoils what we have. You didn't want her poking around. You said she could destroy our family if she knew. But you'd never do that, Puss, would you? You're my big sister. It was a mistake, please, a mistake. His sister. I said it, yes. And the whole family knows about Mouse now. It was obvious from the lunch. They're all trying to protect him, battening down the hatches to save the neglected little child in their midst. From me? From what I might find out. From what I might tell, because knowledge is a threat. I might spill the terrible secret involving my little brother boy I somehow love, yet can't, but must, perhaps, among the mess of this. The 7th day. The command. I am lying on top of my bed with Mouse pressed into me, limpet stuck. He can't sleep anywhere else. He's insisted. The night terrors are too much. His limbs are solid bands of warmth and trust as his rhythmic breathing presses into my back. The bedroom door is open. Light is leaking into the night. I can feel from the house's hush that I'm the only one awake. Mouse will stir soon. He's always the first up, no matter how late he's been to bed, his mother told me once in annoyance. But how to proceed from this point? I haven't slept, again, and the tiredness is jagged through me. I must keep all my wits about me when I just want to plunge into rest, somehow, into deep, soft, enveloping oblivion. But what to do? There's the courage of Mouse in telling the truth, finally, of course, but over all of that is Tinkin and her brother, and the knot of what's happened to them. Mouse has done something horrifically wrong in his twisted, innocent child way, yet in the process of informing any of the powers that be on this island, I'd be tearing my little boy apart, his family apart. Over the past few days, their action has been love inside a sacrifice, and the sacrifice is me. Destroying Mouse was never what I had in mind, and I still need a way out. He stirs. I flip to face his rosy cheeks, and he smiles in his drowsiness and burrows closer, and his long eyelashes flutter on my cheeks as I catch his sour morning breath. Tears prick, are held in, at the love, the release, the mess of this, at the horror that will be carried down through the years in Tinkin and in Mouse. The boy awakes properly and sings in a whisper. A great while ago the world begun, and I strive to please you every day, with a hey-ho, the wind and the rain it raineth every day. Then he slips out of bed, and I ask for the key to the room, and he takes it out of his pocket and holds it up high, away from me. What's he doing? A flutter of disquiet. Not him too, please. I have to put it back, Puss. Tobin will find out. I bend my head sideways and stare at my boy. My new boy, with his calm and rational voice. Killer or innocent child? I nod reluctantly. Right. Then Mouse swiftly, too swiftly, closes his fingers over the key in something like ownership, and shuts the bedroom door behind him and locks it. I flop back on my pillow, glassy with tiredness. My body aches for rest from all of this. Uncertainty seeks the balm of knowing, and I urgently need it. What will happen next? I get up, make the bed, wash and dress slowly, scraping my fingers as a comb through my hair because that is how I'm used to doing it. And then I slip on Tobin's trousers under my skirts. It feels exhilarating to do this, a secret tonic of muscularity. I pull on the boots that have flitted me boldly through this strange bush, feel sturdy, ready, earthed. Pull back the curtains as far as they'll go, then lie on top of my neatly made bed and wait for the house to stir. The slanting sun through the French doors, a golden blanket of heat that moves over my body in a slow caress, drawing me out. When Mrs. Craw brings in porridge on a tray, I take a deep breath and ask her if she could possibly send in her husband, please. I need to talk to him, because this is my fighter's path. I have a raging will to live a life that is my own, that will not be dictated by anyone else. The older woman looks at me dubiously and holds her cross between two praying palms, and in return I bow my head piously and hold up my own praying palms. She is thwarting my destiny here, as she has constantly done, yet reluctantly, miraculously. She says, all right, you win, just this once. But it's like you do as you please all the time, Puss, she flings, and I really cannot abide that. In which a bargain is presented. Mr. Craw knocks on the door, but does not open it, and he tells me that whatever I have to say can be spoken of like this, as if he can no longer bear to have his eyes sullied by the vexatious sight of me still in his house. I nod, smile, shut my eyes, readying myself for what has to be said. I thank Mr. Craw for granting me this audience, and tell him quietly and with great steadiness that he cannot have me locked up. Really? Why? Because I am not mad, and you know it. On the contrary, Puss, you have given us great cause for concern. We have collected a lot of evidence. We will not be swayed. A familiar flare of fury. I need to survive this. You cannot have me locked up, Mr. Craw, because if you do, as much as I love Mouse, I'll tell people what he did, because I know the truth and I will declare it. Silence. A moment that could go either way. I imagine Mr. Craw wrestling with his inner demons while rubbing his fingers helplessly on his waistcoat. This feels like a huge risk. I may never leave this room or house. You are a Christian man, sir. Please have mercy. The door slowly opens. Mr. Craw steps inside and shuts it again. And he sits at my desk with a great and weary heaviness. He sighs, shakes his head. He tells me that everything I believe to be true about Willowbrae is hysteria, is imagined. The magnificence of my fury. I stalk right up close to him. There is a sickness at the heart of this family, sir, that made Mouse do it. And I will tell everyone of it if I have to. And you cannot have people knowing. You cannot have your precious child compromised in such a way. Surely. The great weight heavy on my chest once again is pressing me into breathlessness. So let me go, please. Let me walk freely from this house, and I promise you, on my father's grave, I promise this, I will never speak of these matters again. There. It is done. Surely this will work. Mr. Craw sits back and folds his arms. He starts laughing. Softly. And it grows louder as he cocks his head, all the while looking at me as if I'm the funniest specimen he's ever come across. Tears of laughter come from his eyes, the sting of his mock as I stand here, stranded.
You understand nothing, do you, child? You stupid, foolish little girl. We, as a family, will always draw behind Mouse to protect him. Even your precious Virgil. Oh, yes, it's been noted. Don't think he's on your side, Minx. We as a family are strong and united in this.
I'll tell someone.
And who would you speak to?
It won't be hard.
Oh, won't it? A mere girl, flouncing up to the governor of this colony and telling him what's what? Really? Even if you do manage to have it out with someone of high standing, no one will believe you. Or care.
What makes you so sure?
Because the good doctor and I may have spread it about that the sole survivor of the Finbar is sadly touched in the head, spouting nonsense as a result of her ordeal. Quite difficult to save. Is nothing now but a hysterical, helpless, pitiful woman. I groan with fury, appealing to my father to be strong with me, somehow to give me strength. The Asylum of Industry will set you to rights, I'm sure. Or is it the lunatic and invalid asylum you're heading to?
Mr. Craw chuckles to himself.
I can't quite recall what the good doctor said, and I don't know how long it will take for your rehabilitation, mind. Some women are in there forever. I've heard stories of the isolation cells for the most troublesome inmates. Now let's hope, Poss, you're not placed in one of those. It's all about obedience. Stop it! We could treat you at home, of course, but an institution is a far better solution. Because it offers rules, Poss, rules. Absolute conformity is insisted upon. And you should be welcoming a cure, actually.
This is the first time I've seen the man smile openly, and it does not come easily to him. There's a little of Tobin's cruelty to it.
Freezing water over your head, the application of blisters to the sensitive areas. It's all for the best, child. Imagine being restored, becoming that good, quiet, obedient specimen of girlhood at last.
As Mr. Craw talks, it's as if a hood is dropping over my life.
I offer you my sincere thoughts and prayers for a swift recovery. I do hope, child, for your sake.
I know what blisters are. The application of carbolic acid. I've heard the horror tales, and I know of the white blankets black with fleas and the iron bindings for impertinence. I've heard it all. Get out, girl. Get out. But how? This is the end of CD 9. The book continues on CD 10.